Okay, and we should be live in about a minute or two. Just give the video a second to actually catch up with the stream, and we should be good to go. Hopefully this actually works. Not exactly sure how YouTube is doing things these days. Alright, we got 3 people in the chat. Perfect. Alright, beautiful. Okay, so stream starts in 3, 2, 1, and good. We should be live right now. So how's it going? How you guys going in the chat? Alex says, talk about Urusei Yatsura. I will at some point. Shadow Wandush says, howdy. Hey, how's it going? So how are you guys doing on this beautiful Friday night? Is everybody doing okay? Anybody see any decent anime lately? Just discovered you. You're a pretty cool dude. Well, hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I try to be myself, which is really the best thing that you can do on YouTube. Is just, you know, you gotta be you. Wesley says, hey Ken, how's it going, Wesley? Playing some Sonic Mania on the Nintendo Switch tonight. All-time favorite video game franchise here. Okay. I wonder, are we live or... Okay, now we got 12 people. Alright, good. As long as we got 10 people here, that's a-okay. Sleepy Princess is stellar, rewatching Ranma-half. Ranma-half is good, it's just very long. And if you need like a show where you watch it like once a week, Ranma-half isn't that bad. But there's people, you know, that are just marathoning anime on online these days, and they will just watch like 100 episodes of something. You know, I can't be down with that. It's just way too much in my opinion. Blue Spheres. I was always the best at Blue Spheres when I was a kid. For some reason, a lot of modern Sonic fans, they just do not like the Blue Sphere mode for some reason, and I never understood it. It says Dark Souls in the title. Alright, give me a second. Let me see if I can fix this. Hold on. I'm so bad at YouTube. Give me a second here. Let's see. Sonic Mania. Hang on. Sonic Mania save. Beautiful. Alright, hopefully that'll fix everything. Alright, does it say the actual game that it's supposed to be right now? Let's see here. Now I gotta actually make the screen big again. Alright, there we go. That should fix it. No, leave it. It's funny. Well, I did play Dark Souls for a little bit last week, and I was just not feeling it for some reason. I've played that game too many times. That's the problem. Once you've played a video game like Dark Souls like 100 times, you don't see any mystery in it anymore. It's just not as fun as it used to be. It says Sonic Mania now. Good. Sorry if it has been asked, but have you seen the Irresponsible Captain Tyler? I've seen a few episodes of it. It's a long series, and it also has that OVA sequel series, so I'm saving that for a rainy day. Finished Lane 2 weeks ago, first anime in a long time where I was setting aside time in my day to watch it. Well, that's one of those series where you'll watch an episode, and on a first viewing you might not understand it, but after a while it clicks with you, and that's one of those shows where it's good on repeated viewings. I would say Kino's Journey is also kind of one of those light philosophy shows where you kind of sit down and watch it and something will kind of, you know, you'll have an epiphany and all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, that's what was going on, and you just kind of sit there staring at your screen. And, you know, those shows that stick with you for a long time are, you know, those are the ones that have kind of stood the test of time, in my opinion. Hey man, I wish you talked about Speed Racer 97, what the sequel series that they did that aired on Nickelodeon. I could talk about that. The problem is, like, I feel like Speed Racer really deserves its own retrospective, you know what I mean? I marathoned Technolize, or however it was spelled. It's slow but good. Yeah, well, you know, a lot of people, they don't like those slower, methodically paced TV shows anymore, you know? You look at, you just type in anime into YouTube, and it's mostly whatever's airing this week, a lot of shonen shows, and, you know, people just, they want everything spelled out for them these days, and, those slower shows like Technolize and Serial Experiments Lane, they don't appeal to everybody, but, that's the stuff that I really do like. You know, again, Galaxy Express 39. It's just one of those series where you'll watch it and you'll be like, well, that was an interesting question that it postulated in one episode, you know? Is Sonic Boom anime? Oh, please don't bring that stuff anymore. I am done asking what anime is. I'm gonna just ignore that people are still asking that. Let's see. Just got the notification. How much did I miss? We've only been streaming for about 5 minutes now. Don't worry about it. Do you know the Sonic OVA? Hold on a second. Someone knocking at my door. Yeah, sorry about that. Somebody bugging me about something. Have I heard of the anime called Puni Puni Poemi? That sounds familiar. Is that the joke anime? Is that the joke anime that was within that other anime about being, God, what am I thinking of? That sounds like it's an anime within an anime. Retro anime is the best. Well, that's a closed-minded way to think. I mean, really, anime of all decades, you've got your bad anime and you've got your good anime. No matter what decade an anime is made in, it tends to be, you know, down to the director and all the people who made it, if it was actually good or not. And, you know, for that reason, there's a lot of anime from, like, the 1960s that I enjoy, even the 70s and 80s. But there's also a lot of bad anime from those decades. So it really is a series-by-series kind of thing. You gotta be like, well, do I like this? No? Okay, then you move on, you know? Let's see, what is your favorite Sonic game? Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but that's probably just because I've played it more than any Sonic the Hedgehog game. We tracked down, let's see, Birth Family. Someone worked on Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls in the 1990s, so that's kind of cool. Personally, I think modern anime is very repetitive. It can be, but, you know, there's always those hidden gems, as they call them, so, you know, it's not like every modern anime is bad, and it's not like every anime from the 1990s is good. You just gotta kind of take them on their own merit, you know? Have I seen Monster? Oh, God, I might have seen it a long time ago. That's the story about the doctor who saves a patient, and then the patient that he saves later on goes on like a killing spree. Is that the one that I'm thinking of? If I've seen it, it's been so long that I may as well not have even remembered any of the plot. Examples of good modern anime? Let me think. What's a good modern anime? I liked Girls Last Tour. I liked, what else was good? The Dororo anime that aired like a year ago. That was pretty decent. What else? What was it? What was that anime about the girls camping in the woods? What was it called? Comfy Camping or something like that? I forget the Japanese name of it, but I thought that was good. It was very... I like referenced that in the video about Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko, because that's a, what do you call that? Them Iyashike anime. So, Aizoken was also pretty decent. It's getting harder and harder to find good modern anime. Yeah, but it does exist, you know? Yuru Camp. Yes, that is the anime that I was thinking of. They actually are now making a VR version of Yuru Camp, so you can, like, in a virtual reality environment, you can go camping. And when I heard about that, I always thought that was kind of weird, because, like, the whole entire spirit of going on a camping trip is to leave your house and, like, go into the woods. And when you kind of, like, make VR out of that, I kind of feel like that destroys the spirit of camping, you know what I mean? It's like, well, if you're gonna go camping, go camping. Don't make a VR video game about, like, the concept of going camping. It's kind of ruining the mood, you know what I mean? Let's see, let's see, when we used to leave our houses? Yeah, I mean, I still do leave my house as much as I possibly can, but they're making it harder on you. Not like I know about good anime. I just watch Pretty Cure and Kamen Rider all day. What is your favorite Kamen Rider series? I would love to know what you guys think about Kamen Rider, because I haven't talked about it yet, and I probably should at some point. Dororo was dope. Yeah, Dororo was good. The problem with Dororo is the original Osamu Tezuka manga that it's based on doesn't really... I guess it has an ending, but it was canceled, right? So Dororo has to reclaim all of his body parts, and that manga was supposed to go on much, much longer, so he reclaims, like, 8, maybe 10 of his body parts, and then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, the series is canceled, so he ends up he ends up getting all of the body parts in the very final volume all at once. Let's see. Jacob says, I don't know if it's been asked, but how excited are you for So I'm a Spider... I missed the message. Give me a second here. God, YouTube is just not giving me the info that I need. Okay, so Jacob Ellinger says, I don't know if it's been asked yet, but how excited are you for So I'm a Spider, So What, the anime coming out soon? Is that the isekai anime about someone who turns into a spider? Or is that like, am I completely, like, forgetting that? Here's the thing, I'm vaguely aware of what you're talking about, but I've been watching so many, like, 1980s schoolgirl J-dramas that I'm completely not focused on the modern stuff at all. I think it's pretty cool how every adaptation of Dororo handles the material differently. Yeah, because there's the live-action movie, there's the 1960s black and white anime, there's the manga, obviously, there's the new anime that they just made, and there's also the PlayStation 2 video game. And they all have their different interpretation on how they want to get the story done because, you know, the series was canceled. I mean, it has an ending. It's not like it's a cliffhanger, but there were clearly a bunch more stories that they wanted to do with that character. And all of them just have a different spin on how they want to do that series. Let's see, do you know about the, let's see here, hold on a second. I'd rather watch high school J-dramas than another isekai anime. Yeah, it does get repetitive, doesn't it? I mean, like, how many shows can you watch set, you know, with some school, some, like, you know, high school or, like, junior high Japanese student going to a medieval world, you know? It does get repetitive, I understand that. But, you know, I do like the entire, like, Dungeons and Dragons, D&D style medieval themes of a lot of these older anime. Like, you know, I watch Record of Lodoss War and things like, you know, The Weathering Continent and stuff like that. So, like, I like old school sword and sorcery stuff, but it does get, you gotta kind of take it in moderation, you know what I mean? Let's see, Escaflowne was the coolest one. Yeah, Escaflowne was good because that was also mecha, so it was D&D style mecha anime, which is kind of an interesting thing. Let's see here. Why do you think harem anime have become so common? Do they still do a lot of harem anime? I thought that was a thing back in the heyday of like Love Hina and Tenchi Muyo. But I guess they do still do harem anime. If they're still making them, I'm not aware of it. As far as why they make a lot of them, I don't know. I mean, it's like lowest common denominator stuff, you know, cute girls doing cute things, and then I guess you can self-insert as the main character and be like, oh man, what if I had 20 girlfriends? Wouldn't that be crazy? So I get it, but you know, I always thought that was a thing that kind of disappeared in like the early 2000s, but I guess they're still doing harem anime. Okay. Let's see here. What else we got for questions? Harem anime, missed that one. Let's see. I feel like every isekai protagonist has a harem. Maybe it's part of the series Overlord, since that was like a reverse isekai, had like the opposite, where basically all of the monsters in the show are like the guy's kids. So, you know, at least that's a little bit different. Let's see. Jacob Ellinger donated $5 through Super Chat. Jacob says, so I'm a Spider, So What is going to be as popular as Beastars. Quote me on that. Did Beastars do really well, like, as far as the anime goes? I know there were some people who say that it didn't adapt the manga very well. However, I have not read Beastars, so, you know, I really should be looking into more of these modern anime. I've heard good things about Dorohedoro, but, again, you know, like, I've got so much on my plate as far as the retro stuff goes that I wouldn't even know where to start with a lot of that stuff. Thoughts on Yoshikazu Yasuhiko? I love Yasuhiko. I love Giant Gorg. I love all the stuff that he's done on Gundam, Crusher Joe. I guess Arion is another thing that he did. Yasuhiko, I would say, is extremely underrated. It's a shame that you know, his career kind of fizzled out after Venus Wars, but yeah, I've enjoyed basically everything Yasuhiko has done. Even the Gundam The Origin stuff, which some people don't seem to like for some reason. Yo Kenny, shout out from Korea, love your videos. Well, thank you very much. You know, I do my best Newest video was a little bit out there, but you got to experiment at least once. You know what I mean? Ariane is so underrated. Yeah, absolutely. That is a fantastic movie. Venus Wars is fun. Yeah, all of the stuff that he does is fun. That's the best way to describe that director's works. I mean, like Giant Gorg alone is just like one of my favorite anime. The only recent one that I enjoyed was Konosuba. Have not seen that one. I spend 300 plus hours playing it and something. Alright, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about there. Listen to the album Iria Tingle. It is God tier. Heard of Combustible Campus Gardress. I've heard of Gundress, but I've never heard of Gardress, no. If you're talking about the movie that had to do with like God, what am I thinking of? Masamune Shiro was Gundress. Let's see. I've watched ending of Evangelion for the first time. It blew my mind away. Yeah, I would consider End of Evangelion almost like an art house film. You know, because it's doing so much interesting stuff as far as like visuals go. My soul is not weighed down by gravity. Yeah. Because, what are you, a new type? How many new types we got in the chat? Evangelion, I should upload gameplay. The Origin is a dope anime, but I read some of the manga and it doesn't go to where it catches up to the anime. Was it meant to? Manga came first, right? Oh yeah, the manga was made like ages ago, yeah. Since you're a fan of retro anime, are you a fan of city pop or that genre of music? I mean, I've listened to a lot of city pop music. I'm more into like the late 1970s Japanese music scene, to be more, you know, to be frank, but it seems like people just don't listen to any Japanese music from the 70s for some reason. I do like city pop, but I feel like people overvalue it. There's a lot of good stuff from the 70s too. Evangelion was not good, but it left a big impact. Oh, what, the ending wasn't good? Well, you had like 2 or 3 different endings to that series. And now with those rebuild movies, you can kind of just decide how you want that series to end. It's had so many different interpretations. Like you've got the TV series ending, you've got the movie, you've got the rebuild films. Like if after that and all the manga you're still not satisfied with the way that TV series ends, I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. Excited for the final rebuild movie. That's one of those things where I'm just completely ignoring it. It'll come out whenever it comes out, so I'm not even keeping tabs on it. I have not heard of the Japanese prog rock group Yonin Bayashi. Let's see here. Do you like Enka? Not really. Enka is at least like classical Enka music. No, that's a little too old-fashioned for me. There is some stuff that they call Enka from the 1980s that sounds nothing like what you would traditionally think of Enka music. I guess maybe there's a few singers. Let's see, I just watched the 3rd Rebuild movie and my day was ruined. Yeah, jazz in Japan like the 70s is tight. Yeah, they had a huge jazz scene in the 1970s. A lot of which has not been printed outside of vinyl records, so, if you want to listen to jazz music that you've never heard of in your entire life, like there's a whole undocumented jazz scene that you could just buy random vinyl records from Japan to learn about. I think Japanese jazz fusion is good. It can be, yeah. What's your experience with Ultraman? As far as like the main Ultraman series, you're gonna laugh at me, but like most of the stuff that I'm familiar with Ultraman, as far as like the Tsuburaya stuff, I'm more familiar with like the side things that they've done. Like I've seen like the Tsuburaya Dinosaur trilogy, and I've seen like I guess technically Redman I've seen, but like Redman is only a like Ultraman property by like association. Redman is like the least Ultraman property that there exists. Let's say I found out that there's an official Ultraman Scatman crossover. I did not know about that. Why is Megazone 23 so good? It feels like nobody talks about it. I feel like nobody talks about it because everybody already knows about it, you know what I mean? That's one of those shows that everybody in the 1980s and 1990s already like watched as much as they can possibly watch, so just like nobody talks about it because it's been talked about to death. Never knew Nadia was Anno. Yeah, Nadia was Anno. He also did His and Her Circumstances sometime in the 1990s. From what I understand, he just does not do TV shows anymore because after His and Her Circumstances, he like had some kind of falling out with like like the person who did the manga or something like that. You can look up the final VHS tape for that series. It's just a picture of Anno walking towards a Ferris wheel. It's really weird. Yeah, somebody in the chat put a picture of the VHS tape of Hideaki Anno walking towards a Ferris wheel as the very final volume of His and Her Circumstances. I don't know the exact reason, that he doesn't do TV series anymore, but after that he just completely stopped doing them, so he only does movies now, I believe. His and Her Circumstances pissed me off since it didn't end, it just stopped. Yeah, because that was like a problem with the director. Like, the guy who did the manga wanted it to go one way, and Anno wanted it to go another way, and they couldn't reconcile their differences, and it just kind of ended up blowing up on them. Where are these last 4 spheres? Holy crap. Okay, I just saw them. Okay, hold on. I know it's very... close. Anno did Shin Godzilla, and it was amazing. Yeah. Let's see, Evangelion Rebuild, something or other. Let's see, Anno did Shin Godzilla. Yeah, okay, I already read that one. Left, right, yeah. The problem is my stream setup is introducing like 8 frames of lag, so it's kind of hard to do the blue sphere stages. I just learned about the alternate ending to Ashita no Joe. Well, you're talking about the movie, right? Because there's the Ashita no Joe movie that I guess has that Forever Joe song that ends it out. I don't think that has an alternate ending, but maybe there is some expanded universe stuff. I remember end of Evangelion, it was legendary. Let's see, Karikano was a drama and the director wanted it to be a comedy. Why is Joe so sad? Well, if Joe wasn't sad, I'm not sure people would remember it as fondly as they do. Did you play Sonic CD, or do I play it? I tried it once on stream. Sonic CD is like very vertically oriented, and it's not bad, but it's very different. For some reason, maybe I'm playing it wrong or something like that. Sonic CD is all over the place. There's so many bumpers, so many ways to bounce off of stuff. It's different. It feels like a continuation of Sonic the Hedgehog 1. And Sonic 2, I believe, was made by like a completely different team, right? There we go. Sonic CD is hard. It can be. I mean, like, if you're trying to get all of the time stones, it's murder. I mean, getting that final ending is just ridiculous. Sonic CD had a very bad level design. I don't know if it's bad, but it is different. I Got Depression donated $5. Says, did you know about author Yukio Mishima was a huge fan of Ashita no Joe and once went to the offices after... these messages just disappeared too quickly. Hold on. Let me go ahead and manually look up your message. Did you know author Yukio Mishima was a huge fan of Ashita no Joe and once went to the offices after hours to get a copy since he had been busy that day? I did not know that. I might be thinking of the wrong person. Yukio Mishima, let's see, Japanese poet, playwright, author, Shintoist, nationalist, founder of something or other. Well, here's the thing, like, everybody in Japan at the time that manga was airing was into Ashita no Joe. So you could probably pick any person from that time frame and be like, oh, hey, did you know this one person was into Ashita no Joe? I mean, it was kind of like culture defining at the time. I don't know if it was post-mortem, but didn't they have like a real life funeral for Joe? Or am I confusing him with something? Was it Rao from Fist of the North Star that had the live, like, real life funeral? Or am I thinking of something else? Hold on, I gotta build stairs. I gotta see if my Puyo Puyo skills are still okay or not. I've never been good at Puyo Puyo. I've always been more of a Tetris man, to be honest. Let's see. Let's see if this works. Okay. No. Did any of you guys ever had, like, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine back in the day? That was one of those video games that did not, like, even pretend to be fair back in the day. You would play, like, 3 levels of that as a kid, and it would be so difficult that you would just, like, end up throwing the game away. I remember, like, kids, when I was a kid, that had Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, And like none of them ever played the damn game. They bought it because it had Dr. Robotnik and Sonic the Hedgehog on the cover, and it was not a kind game to, you know, to play as if we were a kid. Okay, let's see here. Gotta actually focus for once. There we go. Luckily, this is like easy mode Puyo Puyo. Otherwise, I'd end up embarrassing myself. I'm not that good at building stairs. Let's see. Do that. See, that's not what you want to be doing, but it still works. Kirby's Avalanche Ghost Trap is the same game, so of course they were unfair. Yeah, Kirby's Avalanche also, which has like Kirby talk in that game, which I always thought was very strange. I was in my 30s when I made when I made it past the 3rd level. Yeah, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, not very good. Was Hiroshido a fan of Ashita Joe? Maybe. You know, I feel like almost everybody in Japan has seen that. Obviously, your average, you know, Japanese person that's, you know, the younger people aren't gonna know about, you know, about Tomorrow's Joe. But like, I would think they would know at least about maybe about you know, Fighting Spirit. They should know about that stuff. It's not called Dr. Robotnik's Kind Bean Machine. Yes, lock on technology. God, there's so many little callbacks to the older video games in this series. It's so good. So good, you guys. I've been wanting this game since 1994. I've been wanting to play this. Let's see. Opinion on Hajime no Ippo. Ippo is good, but it's gone on too long. That series really should have ended a long time ago. You know, like once you start getting to the parts of the story where they're like, oh, you know, you gotta have that fighting spirit, that Yamato Damashi. You know, you gotta use all the oxygen in your body, you know, and then you can beat the guy. Like at that point, you're just like, okay, yeah, maybe this probably should have ended like a long time ago. I like it, but it's very unfocused, and as far as I know, it's still going on. Darn. Okay, missed the spot that was supposed to be in. Hold on. What is this, an Orbinaut? I forget the names of all the badniks in this video game. I used to know them. I had the video game manuals and everything. Yamato's Spirit, yeah, exactly. Yeah, just keep punching. Just keep punching and you'll win. Like, he had the worst coach, like, in any anime ever. Let's see here. Did you know that Miyazaki of Ghibli and Hideaki Anno are best friends, and Miyazaki told Anno that he thinks Neon Genesis Evangelion is a bad show? Probably. I mean, you know, from what I gathered, like, Miyazaki doesn't really even like what anime has become. But, like you look at, like, the early days of Miyazaki's stuff, like Miyazaki's always talking about, like, oh, you know, otaku ruined anime. However, like, you look back at, the Lupin the Third movie that he did. What was it? Castle of Cagliostro, right? You can find like magazines talking about like how cute the main girl character is in that anime, and like he is basically responsible for a lot of that otaku stuff that he complained about back in the day. So like you had entire fan clubs about like the cute Miyazaki girls back in the 80s. So it's not like he wasn't a part of that stuff. Old man yells at cloud. Yes, exactly. Kevinville says hi. Hey, how's it going, Kevin? Just playing some Sonic Mania tonight. Miyazaki created Moe. He didn't create Moe, but I would say he was definitely a part of that entire scene. So to say that he's completely like separate from all of the stuff that he complains about would be, you know, you'd have to be ignoring a large part of history to make that kind of jump. Miyazaki has always been very outspoken, though. Yeah, that's the thing too. A lot of the Japanese anime directors, they kind of keep to themselves because, you know, there's that Japanese modesty to it where they don't want to complain about things. But Miyazaki is like such a like powerhouse in the Japanese animation industry that he's like, oh yeah, I hate anime. Yeah, anime is horrible. I hate Evangelion. I hate all the cute girl anime. No one knows what they're talking about. And I kind of feel like that's how all the Japanese animators would be if they would get on his level. Like, you see stuff like that with Tomino also, where Tomino is very, open, outspoken about all of his opinions. And you just don't see that with the smaller animators and the smaller directors. Anno also publicly called Miyazaki a lolicon. It's impossible, I guess. I mean, that's a thing with Japanese anime. I remember where people were talking about, like, what was it, Rurouni Kenshin or whatever? Where there, some horrible thing happened with the creator of Kenshin. They're like, I can't believe I ever loved Rurouni Kenshin. And you just kind of gotta separate the art from the artist. That's otherwise you end up just like not liking anime at all. Let's see, Euphorium was pretty good. Haven't seen that one. Who's gonna take over Studio Ghibli? I mean, it's supposed to be Goro Miyazaki, right? His son. But Miyazaki, didn't he like call out his son and being like, "You're the worst. You're the worst director that's ever been," because like he made, what was his first movie? It was like Tales of Earthsea or something like that. And that guy, he's the son of Miyazaki, but like that doesn't make him a good director. So he's kind of like having to live up to his father's legacy. And I don't know if it's him that's directing the new 3D Ghibli film. But there's a lot of people saying that new trailer for the new 3D movie is just looking absolutely horrible. And it's like, well, it's not made by Miyazaki, and you gotta kind of give the guy a couple of movies to really build up enough experience where he's gonna be on that level. Obviously, Miyazaki didn't start, making movies like Spirited Away. He had some practice before he got to that level, you know what I mean? So, like that's the thing with a lot of older anime. You just like you don't excuse their mistakes and their problems, but at the same time, if you go into them with like an open mind, you might end up enjoying them a little bit more. 3D anime was a mistake. I would say just the transfer over to digital. I've said it in a couple of videos. They ended up having to throw away like all these old animation techniques when like Digipaint was introduced in like 1997 or 1996 or so, and they've never really fully recovered. However, I would say anime right now is in a very good place. They're starting to make 3D anime look better. It doesn't all look like Lensman from the 1980s. It doesn't all look like that 3D helicopter sequence in Golgo 13. So like they've gotten better over time. It's more just like who's doing it, There's some directors and animators that are good with 3D, and there's some that aren't. I miss old anime. Old anime still exists. Your VHS tapes are still probably gonna play. The DVDs are still out there. I would say 3D doesn't always age poorly. It just has to have it's gotta be highly stylized. Like, you look at Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. When that video game came out, everybody was like, oh my god, I can't believe how bad it looks. They ruined The Legend of Zelda. I remember like having these conversations with people where they were like laughing at Wind Waker. And now like with emulators and like HD re-releases, everybody's like, wow, Wind Waker is one of the most beautiful looking video games of all time. And that game was made, what, like 2003, I want to say? Early 2000s. And because of the art style, it has persevered. It holds up as a unique and distinct piece of video gaming, and anime kind of works in the same way. Hey Kenny, the bitrate is dying, no lie. Well, what can I do? Hold on. So you're saying the video is not doing well? Give me a second here. Let me see if the stream is actually playing properly. God, you guys are making me pause my own stream just to see what's going on. Let's see. Nope, that's just you. It looks fine on my end. And also, it's a 2D video game. Like how bad could a video game, that's 2D look, You're gonna have to deal with it. Looks fine to me, bro. Looks fine to me. Purposely built a 4K 4x3 TV when... is that glass mug part of the game? No, that glass mug, this little thing on the bottom here, this will fill up with little tiny icons every time somebody subscribes. Every time there's a donation, it'll fill up. And when there's a Patreon also, it'll fill up. So that's like a little tiny fun meter. I'm not about to be like speed running a video game. I'm not gonna have all these little splits, for every section or whatever. This is more of a slow run of Sonic the Hedgehog. So I know that's kind of weird, but You know, sometimes you gotta just take video games at your own pace. Okay, hold on a second. Is there a way to get down here? Hold on, let me get off of these little spinning, bouncing things. God. Okay, can you go down here or no? No, okay. Do I own a Sega CD or Mega CD? I had a Sega CD Model 2 at some point, but I think like the capacitors inside it died or something because the video quality just started getting worse and worse. Lawn Flies Into the Wind is really great. Haven't seen that one. Okay, let's see. What happens when the glass fills up? I think it just starts overflowing at that point. If you're wondering if there's going to be some crazy message or something that's going to play, it's not. The bitrate dying might be because of the CRT overlay. Oh yeah, that's the CRT overlay. Like, this is how the video game is supposed to look. Obviously, Sonic the Hedgehog isn't supposed to be super, super sharp, right? Like, if that's what you're looking for, then yeah. It's supposed to look this way, don't worry about it. By the way, I think the bitrate complaints are because of the CRT filter in the game. Yeah, but I chose that on purpose. At least on my end, I like how this looks. But again, like, I grew up with like a Shadow Mask tube television back in the day. So, you know, this is more, I guess, my nostalgia speaking, but you know, to me, this is how Sonic the Hedgehog looks. Did you hear about the Chinese live-action remake of Ghost of Tsushima? No, I have not. Nintendo Wii donated $5 through Super Chat. Nintendo Wii says, on one hand, there are good CG anime like Land of the Lustrous and Dorohedoro. Hold on, I gotta actually rewind the message here. Give me a second. Okay, sorry. Okay, Nintendo Wii says, on one hand, there are good CG anime like Land of the Lustrous and Dorohedoro. On the other hand, there's also stuff like Berserk 2016 and X-Arm. I've seen, like, at least screenshots of Dorohedoro. There are scenes of it that look very good, but I also saw some scenes where the CGI characters were very jarring against the hand-painted backgrounds. So maybe that's one of those series that's a mixed bag. I haven't seen it. Maybe I should watch Dorohedoro sometime in the future. Thank you very much for the donation, Nintendo Wii. And let's see, Ellen Yaya donated $5, says, hey Kenny, what kind of TV do you watch your old-timey anime on, and which Sonic the Hedgehog is this? This is Sonic Mania for the Nintendo Switch. As far as what TVs I use, I have a BVM D24E21U or 24U, something like that, that I got, like, I want to say it was like $100 at the time. But it was a tube TV that they made in like 2006 for like video editing, and I got it for almost nothing. And now if you look up that model, the D24E21U on eBay, that's like $1,000 monitor now. So TV prices have just gone crazy. As far as like older stuff, like what I watch, I've got a JVC iArt for my tube TV needs because you know, you really want a bigger screen in order to really appreciate some of the older stuff, and so you gotta have a smaller screen for editing, and you gotta have a bigger one for those bigger TV shows, and especially for like light gun games. You don't want to. I would say you need at least one big tube TV just for like Time Crisis. And, you know, and like, all those light gun shooters. So, yeah. Dang it, Kenny, driving up all the old school TV and VCR stuff with exposing old anime to the world. You're acting like I'm the only person on YouTube who talks about old anime on VHS. There's tons of people that are talking about anime on VHS. The problem is, it's just they're not getting a lot of exposure for one reason or another. And I don't know if that's just because you know, old anime has kind of fallen out of style, but I would say a lot of people are legitimately buying up the tube TVs just for like you know, retro gaming purposes too. Low resolution anime looks better sometimes. Well, sometimes it does. You know, some people have made the argument that Serial Experiments Lane is more aesthetic because, you know, if you watch it on tube television, it lends it like a sort of like mystique. I would say there are certain like movies, for example, like tube TVs are good for, I would say, horror films because they have excellent black levels. And, you know, obviously with like an old horror movie on VHS, you don't want to see the string that is holding up the bat or the zipper on the monster suit. You know what I mean? So like, it's not always perfect. Good to have 100% sharp image. So, like, I can understand it, but, you know, it's always good to have both. Let's see here. What else we got? Anthony Estremera donated $5, says, "Hey Kenny, I am a huge delinquent manga fan. What old anime series or OVAs are worth watching?" I would say if, one of those that I haven't covered so far that I've been mulling about trying to do a video on for a while is Bebop High School. If you have not seen Bebop High School, that's a good one, I would say, as far as entry-level delinquent anime. Most of the stuff that I've covered on my channel is like very, very obscure stuff. Obviously, most people aren't going to be talking about Os Karate-bu or Hana no Asukagumi these days, but yeah, you want a decent delinquent series, go ahead and look up Bebop High School. It also has a live action movie too, so maybe that'll be a video one of these days. Let's see here. Hey Kenny, what are some good retro hold on a second. What are some good retro anime you would recommend to oh god, this chat is going so fast. Hang on. Chat is going too fast. Gotta scroll up. Let's see. What are some good retro anime you would recommend to a younger woman who is into body horror and Yakuza fiction? There is this one anime from the mid-2000s about I think it's about a woman as the main character, and she inherits a Yakuza like group from her father who died. It's like a female version of GTO. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I cannot for the life of me remember the name of this anime. As far as other stuff, I don't know. Let's see. Body horror and Yakuza fiction, because there's like a lot of Yakuza anime. There's tons of them. The problem is like a good one. I'm blanking on the name. It's Goku-san. Yes, absolutely. Go ahead and watch Goku-san. It's about a woman who inherits a like Yakuza branch from her father, and it's fantastic. It's like the female version of GTO. If you've never seen Greatest Teacher Onizuka, that is like the girl version of Onizuka. So that gets a recommendation from me if you want a good Yakuza anime that's underrated. Let's see here. Not Project Blue. No, it was Goku-san. Okay, they did a live action version of it too. Yes, they have. It has the Sopranos font for some reason. Alright, hold on, I gotta stand right here. Wait for Uzumaki to come out? Yeah. Oh yeah, Goku-san is awesome. Goku-san was played along GTO on TV back in the day, coincidentally. Well, they're very thematically similar, so. Alright, got a one up. What is the worst manga I have ever read? Probably something that I don't remember. The thing about the absolute worst manga is, like, if something is really bad, you're not going to remember it was bad because you probably dropped it, you know what I mean? Do you know about Cassette Girl, the big homage to Daikon 4? Yeah, the short about the girl going into a used video rental store at the end of the world. Yeah, I've seen that. It's a fantastic short. Uzumaki, all black and white, bold choices. Wasn't that supposed to come out this year, or did they end up delaying it, or is that still coming out, or what? Uzumaki, all black and white. Are you gonna have to talk about Otoko Juku one of these days? Yeah. Well, that's the thing with delinquent shows is you gotta give me time. What can I tell you? I mean, I love Sakigake Otoko Juku. I've referenced it a couple of times. I thought it was more well known than it actually is. I mean, you can play as the main character of Otoko Juku in like a bunch of Shonen Jump fighting games. I think he was like in Jump Jump Ultimate or Jump All Stars or something like that. So I thought that was more well known. But if you guys want a video on Otoko Juku at some point, maybe I'll have to cover that. Let's see here. Kenny, have you ever watched You're Under Arrest and Oh My Goddess, how about Golden Boy? I've talked about Golden Boy before. I stand by saying that that's one of the best anime of all time if you watch it in English, because that is the best English dub. As far as that other stuff, I mean, maybe I'll cover it at some point. Let's see here. $5 from Tim E. Wait, sorry, here we let's see. Got a split. Thanks for everything you do. Keep the weird stuff coming from David Hall. Thank you very much, David. The next video is going to be like more of a recommendation video, so, if you want something that you can actually sit down and watch that won't be lost media, look forward to that. Have I seen the Mario anime? Which one? There's multiple Mario anime. There's the Mario OVA, and then there's also all those educational shorts that they did. But yes, I have seen the Mario anime. Someone recently saved the soundtrack to the Mario anime on vinyl record from being lost media. I think his name is Marty something. Marty McFlies, I think is the guy's name. But he recently digitally restored the Mario Brothers soundtrack to the OVA, which, like, very, very few people own a copy of that. So, you know, there's still people saving stuff from being lost media all over the place. So, yeah, look into that. Is the first OVA where Toad is a woman? I don't remember. Yeah, Marty McFly. That guy is amazing, everything he does. I hope Uzumaki is good, but I'm worried since Adult Swim. Yeah, Fooly Cooly seasons 2 and 3. Yeah, those were not good anime seasons. I said it during an earlier stream, and Fooly Cooly just did not need a sequel at all, let alone 2 sequels. You know, that was a very closed and done story. You know, like, there are some, I've said it before, but there's some liner notes that you can look up for Fooly Cooly from the director. And he said Fooly Cooly is not a difficult anime to understand. And he said something along the lines of, he said, a child who tries to act like an adult is less of an adult than a child who tries to act like a kid. And that always stuck with me. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, it's just a coming-of-age story with kick-ass music and good animation. It's not like it's difficult to understand, and I don't understand why people view it as this, like, super deep anime. But, you know, a lot of people did watch that during their formative years, so maybe it's a good introductory story about coming of age. Yeah, but the sequels are good, and are you very into it? I haven't even seen the sequels. My stance on that is they're not animated by the guys who did the original OVA, and they're not written or directed by the people who are responsible for the original series. So, like, if at that point, if nobody involved in the series outside of the voice actors did anything, you know, with the original series, well, you know, it's not even the same show at that point, you know? Let's see, completely, yeah. Let's see, don't 5 get that Otokojuku has a legal English manga now? Yes, it does. Took forever, but yes, you can read Otokojuku in English. I should have mentioned in the video about Oskaradibu, but there's an English version of that manga too. So, you know, if you want to get into more delinquent stuff, there's no limit to what you can watch these days. Do you know Chojin Gauken Kantan Moryu Sishun Jihen? I would think you would know about that obscure manga. You stumped me on that one. Haven't heard of it. Don't 5 get 6 head? What are you watching Code Lyoko and Anne of Green Gables? Are you talking about all the girls with ridiculous foreheads? Don't forget that. Let's see, that's what kept me from watching Kemono Friends Season 2. Yeah, Kemono Friends Season 2. People like to forget that series had a Season 2 just because it was so tonally different from the first one. You know, nobody working on that second season worked on the first one, so it's not even the same show at that point. See, this is cheating. If you have that okay, so how's this supposed to work? You're supposed to bounce up there that way? Or maybe you're supposed to use tails? I had the shield and I screwed it up. Okay, hold on. Trying not to die here. Okay. Okay, there we go. Got it. Let's see, what else we got here? This guy just keeps talking without a break, holy shit. Well, I have a lot of stuff to say. You know, if you're gonna be doing a stream, you should at least have something to say. I would imagine, you know, people watch streams to talk to the person who's streaming, so, like, I always thought it was weird. Where you have these people who will do a stream and they'll have nothing to say, and they also won't talk to the people in the chat. And, like, that always was very strange to me. Let's see, Soups89 donated $3, says, do you recommend the Soul Bianca anime? God, I haven't seen that in so long. That has an English Laserdisc release. I don't remember enough about it to recommend it, but I don't remember it being horrible. I know that's a cop-out answer, but honestly, I just haven't seen that in, like, forever. You're name-dropping an anime that I have not seen in, like, 20 years. I don't remember it being bad, but I remember very little about it. Matsumoto is too big. Well, here's the thing about video games. You can pause them. If there's a donation, I can just pause. It's not a big deal. Ellen Yaya donated $10 through Super Chat, says, "Hey Kenny, remember Adult Swim from the early 2000s? My favorite was Outlaw Star. Say something good about it, damn it." Well, Outlaw Star is honestly like, it's part of that 1998 anime trilogy where you got Outlaw Star, you got Trigun, you got Cowboy Bebop that all have outer space themes to them, but they're not like technically like mecha anime. And I always loved those series. Mostly because Outlaw Star has a fantastic English dub, and some of the animation they did was just fantastic. If you've seen the Blu-ray for Outlaw Star, they did like a 32mm like rescan of the entire anime, and that is one of the best looking Blu-rays I've ever seen for a retro anime. It retains all of the grain from the original film print. You know, with a lot of these modern Blu-rays for anime, they will just scrub them so hard to make them really clean and pristine that they just end up looking like a blurry mess. But not with Outlaw Star. That has a fantastic Blu-ray. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get back up there. Let's see here. What else we got? Do you think you will ever cover more mainstream 80s, 90s anime? Maybe just make one big video where you give your 2 cents? I feel like every anime that I talk about probably deserves a video. Like all that stuff that I name dropped in that video where I was discussing like, well, what counts as an anime? I'll probably touch on most of that at some point. I'd like to at least talk about like the Subaraya Dinosaur trilogy eventually, right? Kenny, you're speaking to my soul. Well, here's the thing, like, you know, I don't want to be like, hey, you know, GTO is a pretty good anime, you guys, you should probably watch it, and make like, you know, make a whole video where I'm just talking like that. You know, that seems lazy to me. Obviously, I could make a top 10 anime that you from the 1990s that you should probably be watching. Like, I could do that video, but like that's not me. I don't do things like that. Kenny, what are some 80s, 90s genres that you don't see much? Well, obviously you got the delinquent stuff, the Yakuza anime. You've also got there's the whole Bosozoku genre, which is like the Japanese biker anime genre, which is another thing. People are telling me that harem anime is still a thing. And I didn't even know that they were still making harem anime, but I thought that they kind of stopped doing that. What else we got here? Troa says, "Hey Kenny, have you ever seen the 1980s Gigantor reboot?" I have not. I've seen like the 2003 Tetsujin 28 Go. I've seen that. And believe it or not, I've seen like the live action Tetsujin, so like that's something. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. Got it. What are the best classic harem anime? I mean, like I always default back to Tenchi Muyo. I've kind of like what was Saber Marionette J? Is that one? Can I say Saber Marionette J is a guilty pleasure of mine? AD Police was some stuff. Yes, it was. Mason Ikoku, yeah. Let's see. I mean, you can't go wrong with, like, Urusei Yatsura, too. Also, to a point, I guess you could kind of call that a harem anime. But, like, I don't think of that as a harem anime. I've always thought of that more as, like, more of just, like, a general comedy. Okay, can't go that direction. Yo, Kenny, I would think you know Dead Leaves. Well, I remember it looks like Fooly Cooly. I haven't seen that OVA in a very, very long time. I'm, like, peripherally aware of it, but I couldn't tell you anything about Dead Leaves. Let's see. Game Tracks donated 2 through Super Chat. Thanks for the video. Congratulations on your success. Well, thanks a lot. You know, I figure not all the videos are going to do well 100% of the time. However, you know, if you do your best all the time, you're not going to have any regrets. You know what I mean? So, just always doing my best. Where am I supposed to be going here? Holy crap. Okay, so that's a spring. Am I going in the wrong direction or something? I probably need to be going left here. Hold on. That's gotta be it, right? Or maybe I'm going the wrong way now. Okay, alright. Whoa, okay. Now that's some crazy level design. Holy crap. What a well-designed video game. Like, look at this. Whoa! Look at this. Look how fast I'm going. God damn. That was awesome. Best modern harem is a certain magical index. Like I said, you know, when you're name dropping the modern anime, I just don't know them. It's not that like I hate them or anything either. I just don't watch modern anime because like I'm sitting through all these Japanese dramas from the 1980s. You know, I got my plate full. Maybe when I'm in my 50s or something like that, I'll start watching anime that came out this year. Kenny, best action anime. Kenny did a Sonic impression. Nozomu Yume donated $5. Urusei Yatsura is basically original waifu harem anime. Also, well, I guess you could view it that way. I've always put Urusei Yatsura in the magical girlfriend genre. And that is legitimately a thing that kind of, you know, spontaneously happened in the 1980s after Urusei Yatsura was a thing. But yeah, I would consider that a magical girlfriend genre anime. What else is an anime that's part of that genre? God, I'm blanking. There's this one anime I call, I think, like My Girlfriend is a Witch. Am I thinking of the right OVA? There's a couple of them. I'll have to touch on them at one point. Lucas Martina donated $1.99 through Super Chat. New Creamy Mommy manga from the point of view of her rival. Yes, Creamy Mommy's rival is getting a spin-off manga, so that's definitely a thing that's happening. Love all your videos, Kenny. Have you seen the early 2000s Kino's Journey? Absolutely. I've said it before. Hold on a second, there's a switch here. Joseph Guy says, have I seen Kino's Journey? Absolutely. I have read the light novels for Kino's Journey. I've played the PS2 video games that they made. Yes, there are Kino's Journey video games on the PlayStation 2. I've played that DS game where Kino has a cameo in it. What else have I done as far as Kino's Journey? So yes, I've all the Kino's Journey stuff. Ellen Yaya donated $5 says, can you remember ADV? Remember how they tried tricking people into thinking Ninja Resurrection and Spriggan were sequels to Ninja Scroll? Yes, I do remember that. It's funny that you mentioned that. I remember renting Ninja Resurrection from Blockbuster Video back in the day. That's how old I am. And Ninja Resurrection, I remember being very not good. I remember that not being a fun anime to watch. It was nothing like Ninja Scroll. Like, that was a very big bait and switch. So yes, absolutely, I remember that. Back to Kino's Journey, I've seen all the episodes of the original series. I've seen the OVA, or maybe it's a movie called Country of Illness. Yeah, absolutely, one of my favorite series of all time. Cannot recommend Kino's Journey enough. If you have not seen that, you should really look into it. I cannot vouch for the new series that they made because I haven't seen it, but I've heard it was very tonally different from the original. So, can't recommend that one because I have not watched it. Let's see here. Triangle, who was Ataru Kyoko, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Yotoden and Yoma are... Okay, man, the chat is moving so fast. I'm going to have to be very selective about what messages I read now. Kenny's iconic Garfield-like delivery makes for entertaining car listening. So what, you're driving now and you're just listening to me talk about video games and anime? I should probably talk about What's Michael one of these days. That's that Japanese series that's basically, like, you know, Japanese Garfield, if you haven't seen that. How dare Kenny be so popular? I mean, I'm not gonna complain about being popular, but it's like, I like the smaller streams because it's easier to read things, you know what I mean? Or maybe I should have, like, slow message mode on or something. Let's see. What's Michael was great. What's Michael is interesting. I've got to talk about it, like, eventually. Kino is just a tomboy. Well, Kino is the traveler. You know, is the character. Anybody could be Kino, which I think was, like, the point of that entire story arc, you know? Let's see, what else? You ever watch Cyberpunk Collection and Police Cyber City Oedo and thinking about it? I haven't seen Cyber City Oedo in a long time. Excellent English dub, that's what I remember about that. How did you get popular in the first place? I don't know. I haven't changed since I was in high school and all of a sudden I'm popular. I don't get it myself. I think just people are getting more tired of watching modern anime. And, you know, out of that, people want to, you know, talk about anime in all of its forms. So, you know, when they see somebody talking about something that they never heard of, they're like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. You know, oh, Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko, Giant Gorg, those anime exist. You know, it's a funny thing to see happen. I don't know if it's like a recent trend or maybe it's just me. Maybe I just make good videos. I don't know. I like to be humble and imagine that I make really bad videos because I'm always trying to improve. But maybe people are just more into older anime. It's hard to say. He got popular by not wasting people's time. Yeah, absolutely. Like for that video about Coral Reef Legend, Elfie of the Blue Sea, which is the underwater Nausicaa anime that I did a video on. That's not a 10-minute video. That's barely like a 9-minute video because I said everything I wanted to say about it. You know, it's very cute and it's nice, and if you like Nausicaa, you know, maybe watch it. That was basically my opinion in that video. I don't like wasting people's time. There are these people who will do like a video, like an hour-long review on something like a movie that's an hour long. It's like, well, I could have watched the movie in the amount of time that it took you to talk about the anime. And like at that point, like, yeah, you're just like aggressively wasting people's time. So I purposely don't overinflate my videos, and I think it's annoying when people do that. Dream Hunter Rem would be nice too. I probably need to redo that Dream Hunter Rem video at some point because that got age gated. I don't know if you guys know that, but like people cannot watch the Dream Hunter Rem video anymore unless you're logged into YouTube. So I guess like I don't want to redo 4-year-old videos, but like if people can't watch them, I don't know, maybe I'll just edit it a bit or something. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that video. I watch your videos because you aren't clickbaiting crap. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what denomination RSD is, but Goblin Lord donated 1,000 RSD. Thank you very much. Appreciate the donation. I'll put that towards some VHS tapes. Let's see here. What else we got going here? I love the design of this level. Like Press Garden, man. Like what a stylish level. I believe people watch old anime a bit more because current anime is getting tropey. Yeah. MRDEWORDE donated $5. Let me go ahead and see what your message is. Hang on a second here. Let's see here. Oh, wait, that was from Streamlabs. Okay, so I have to reload this. Give me a second. Okay, so from Murdaward, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, says your videos are a wonderful window into the weird, interesting, and the forgotten. Chargeman Ken has become a running joke in my household. Thank you for the entertainment. You know, the Chargeman Ken video actually just hit 1 million views, and I didn't think there were going to be that many people that wanted to see me lose my mind over an anime where, like, you know, every other scene, people have 4 fingers and 5 fingers from scene to scene, and sometimes people have 2 right hands or 2 left hands. That's the kind of anime Chargeman Ken is, but I'm glad that you enjoyed me losing my mind over that anime. Appreciate the donation. $4.20 from Weeb says, not technically anime, but have you seen the Korean animation Aeon Flux? Not since it aired on MTV way back in the day. And I think I saw a little bit of Reign the Conqueror back when it aired. I think it was on Adult Swim, but it was a long time ago. I don't remember too much about it. It was very stylized, but I wouldn't consider that anime. You know, when I did that video asking, well, like, what counts as an anime? I made the distinction, you know, saying that it's gotta probably be drawn in Japan. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that isn't even done in Japan anymore. So, you know, the definition of what an anime is and isn't is getting really blurry these days. Have you ever seen the stop-motion Doggy Poo? No, I have not. I'll have to look that one up at another time. Kenny deserves his subscribers more than... Let's see. Hold on a second. Sorry, it's going so fast. You know, I may as well just pause the stream for a second here just to read some stuff. Let's see here. What is going on here? Oh, so Giguk fears Ali Barder. Don't even know what that is. Here's the thing about, like, the other huge anime YouTubers. I got nothing against them, but they're just covering stuff that I'm completely ignorant about. Like, obviously the anime that Giguk watches is not the anime that I watch. I doubt very highly that Giguk or the Anime Man or all these other channels have watched things like Aura Battler Dunbine or Panzer World Galliant or, you know, like Twinkle Nora Rock Me. They might have watched as a joke or something because of the video. They're just not watching what I'm watching. So it's, you know, like, obviously, like, the Dragon Ball Z YouTubers, you know, don't watch the channels about One Piece and stuff like that. And that's just kind of how I view the channel. I'm talking about what I'm talking about, and as long as we all like anime, you know, I'd say there's common ground there for, you know, people getting into new stuff. Yeah, I'm just, you know, what can I tell you? I'm just ignorant about what the other people are watching. I do feel like I should probably watch Doro Heidoro at some point, though. A lot of people keep recommending that to me. Antubers are kind of a joke, to be honest. They're incredibly hard to watch sometimes. You know, I hope I'm not hard to watch. I try to be entertaining, but, you know, I'm always trying to improve, too. So, you know, if it ever gets cringy, you guys have to let me know how to, like, rein it in a little bit, you know? Oh, God, I'm so bad at Sonic. How long until someone tries to copy you? I don't care if people do copy me. You know, anime is for everybody. If somebody wants to go ahead and just talk about an old anime, they can go ahead and do that. There are other channels talking about older anime. There's Marion B. You know, if you guys aren't subscribed to that channel, fantastic little channel about shoujo anime. She actually talked about Purple Eyes in the Dark like 2 weeks before I talked about it. So, you know, there's all sorts of people and stuff. What's your favorite example of Western media becoming popular in Japan? I guess, you know, you've got like stop motion stuff like Thunderbirds and, you know, Wes Anderson stuff. I guess technically, if you want to get into that. Let's see. Lucas Martinez says, would you ever do a video on the list anime Manshuri Koko or lesser known series like Tokimeki Tonight? I wanted to do a video about Manshuri Koko, but somebody's already done a video about it. It's largely lost media, so I don't really know what I could do. There is one thing that I've been trying to find. So like Manshuri Koko is about I think it's an anime about like a French fashion designer in the 1970s, and it just did very, very, very poorly. So because it was a 1970s anime, it just did not get released on VHS. And so like all of it's lost media except for the intro. Right? And I tried to figure out where the intro came from. Apparently, there are a couple of VHS tapes in Japan that are compilations of intro and, you know, like opening music to 1970s anime in Japan. And from that, there is where the intro to Manshuri Koko comes from. I tried to track down the VHS tape from it just to, like, make a proper transfer so we can see, like, that anime, what it looks like in you know, horrible 240p quality. But, you know, some of that stuff just does not go up at auction. So, as far as, like, doing a video on Manshuri Koko, I don't know what I could possibly say about it. There's, like, unless somebody finds an episode of it or something, you know, basically everything has been said. If people want to copy you, that means you're doing it right. Yeah, I consider that, like, a form of flattery. You know, if there's more people all of a sudden are into older anime because I'm talking about Chargeman Ken, and how, like, the titles of the episodes don't reflect what's going on in the episodes. Because there are episodes of Chargeman Ken where they'll be like, oh, Chargeman Ken does this in this episode. And then you watch the episode and you're like, well, none of that was in the episode. So, like, even the titles of that anime are wrong. Sorry, you know, it's just Chargeman Ken. I've got, like, post-traumatic stress disorder from watching Chargeman Ken. But yeah, if there's other people that are doing more, you know, retro anime videos because of the little videos that I do, I think that's fantastic. You can get a dialogue going, you can find really good recommendations that way, which is also another good thing. And sometimes even lost media gets found by raising awareness. You know, you look at like Hana no Asukagumi 2. All of a sudden, like a week or two after I did the video, that was not lost media. And all of a sudden, like, that's now subtitled too. So sometimes good things happen if you talk about them. Okay, so we had some super chats here. Let me see what else is going on. So for Soko, what is your favorite example of a Western media becoming popular in Japan? Like I said, you know, a lot of that stop motion stuff like Thunderbirds, you know, I would consider that Western media. Like you look at even stuff like Evangelion is influenced by stuff like Thunderbirds. So yeah. Let's see. Would you ever do a video on Manshuri Koko? Answered that one. For $5, no Zomu Yume donated, said, have you ever thought of doing a video on Konpeki no Kantai / Deep Blue Fleet? It's too late now, but December 7th would have been a great date to release it. I don't even have that on my radar. I will look into that after the stream. Goblin Lord donated RSD 250, just gives me 2 big ol' thumbs up. Don't know what that is as far as money goes, but appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay, so what was I doing playing Sonic the Hedgehog? Kenny's channel is just a ruse to help him expand his VHS collection. Well, here's the thing, like most VHS tapes, I would assume are still very easy to get. You can get all of the ADV stuff, you know, with very few exceptions for like, you know, a couple dollars. They're not expensive. I would say mostly, you know, anime on like Blu-ray and DVD is like where it starts getting really, really crazy. Because those are the things that people just end up just wanting. Because it's like, who has a VCR? You know, that's the thing. Like, no one has a VCR these days. So most VHS tapes just tend to not be that expensive because nobody wants them, you know? But, you know, that's where I find my my little niche or however you want to pronounce that. And, you know, I enjoy it. It's a nice hobby. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh. Hold on. Okay, poor VHS Chan. I honestly want to get another VCR just because if my one VCR breaks, I'm not exactly sure how I would replace it because they kind of don't make those anymore. So yeah, if you want to get into VHS, I would say do it now because the VCRs are just going to get harder to get, especially the good ones, and they're just going to keep on breaking on you. So yeah, watch your VHS tapes while you can. Holy crap, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to do? Because this keeps going in a loop now, right? There we go. Okay, I got out of it. We'll ever cover the Lane PS1 visual novel. I think a modern anime YouTuber actually did that recently, right? Wasn't it the Anime Man or Giguk did a video that, like, with some sensational title. They named the video something like, I spent $1,000 on an anime video game. I think that is probably, as far as, like, getting a Lane visual novel video, all you're gonna get out of YouTube. I would have to like track down the PS1 game, and that is legitimately like $1,000 game. So unless I get like a bootleg of it or something like that, no, I'm probably not going to cover that. Walmart still has 2 VCR combo players. Yeah, but like those are very badly made VCRs. Here's the thing, like I understand you want to get a cheap VCR because they're cheap. You know, you get a combo player. But at the same time, a lot of those players will eat your tapes. So like that's the choice you really got to make. Do you want to get a cheap VCR, or you want to get one that actually plays your tape properly and doesn't eat your VCR, you know, eat your tape? Okay, hold on a second. How am I supposed to kill this thing? Screw it. I'm just gonna play like an idiot and just smash into it over and over again with the invincibility frames. There we go. Let's see. Oh, so yeah, $250. Yikes. Yeah. Serial Experiment Lane fans are really, really something, aren't they? Who was the shoujo YouTuber you mentioned? Marion B. M-A-R-I-O-N-B-E-A. She has done a video on Manchuri Coco, and she's already said basically everything that I could probably say about it. Unless I delved into the manga, which isn't translated, and like at that point it's like a manga video, so... let's see, Anime Man talked about it. Others have made videos on the Lane game. Who is the stern, disappointed Japanese guy in your avatars? That is Matsumoto. He is a Japanese comedian who has done many, many TV shows like The Downtown Boys and Gaki no Tsukai. And all sorts of stuff. You know, I should probably do a video about him at some point, but the problem is, he's like part of primetime Japanese television, and when you post little tiny clips, even for like the purpose of review of Japanese primetime television, they tend to not like you doing that. So I don't know if I can do a video about his career at some point, but it would be difficult. Karibo-kun says another anime YouTuber that is in total crap. Have not seen him or her. Who knows what the channel is. Any recommendation for a mecha anime that you have yet to cover? I've thrown around the idea about doing a video about Video Warrior Laserion at some point, but I wouldn't consider that like a good anime. That's more of like a guilty pleasure, you know what I mean? Let's see, and documental, right? No, I don't know what that is. Scarlet something or other. Okay, I can't keep reading the chat. I'm gonna just end up getting killed over and over again if I keep doing that. Kenny, do you still have a CRT to watch your VHS tapes? Yeah, I've got like 3 CRTs. You gotta have a, like, you don't technically need a tube TV to watch anime on VHS, but I don't know, it just kind of feels kind of wrong to watch VHS tapes when they're not on a tube TV. I mean, obviously there's like scalers and stuff that you can use, but, you know, just feels weird. Okay, how's this gonna work? Hold on. There we go. Got it. Thoughts on Fukumoto? No, what Fukumoto? What are you talking about? The guy who did Kaiji, right? Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, I love all of Fukumoto's works. Thanks for commenting on my video, Kenny, from Internation. Well, I don't know what your channel is, but I comment on any video that I enjoy. So if you're doing anime content or VHS content or... Oh, wow. You can get killed that way. That's amazing. I comment on a lot of videos. Some person was telling me that I got, like, the #1 comments on that video that Wang did on Saki-san Obashi, which he's done 3 videos on already with 0 evidence, so... I don't know what to tell you if you guys still think that anime is a thing. But I made a comment. Hold on a second here. Detrimental Derivation donated $5 says, someone asked me about the worst show they've seen. I've seen Gan and Gone. That sounds familiar. Is that the show about the cavemen? Am I thinking of the right thing? I can't look it up right now, but that does sound familiar. But as far as, yeah, owning a tube television, they're still cheap. You know, you can go on Craigslist. You can go to the Salvation Army or Goodwill, possibly. I don't know if they all carry them, but, you know, all these little tiny all these little resale stores sometimes have tube TVs. I mean, you know, they made millions of them. It's not like they don't exist anymore. Saki-san Obashi was a troll? Yeah, like, obviously. That's why I didn't do a video. I was thinking about doing a video on Saki-san Obashi like 2 months before Wang did his first video, because I saw people were talking about it on the internet. But, you know, I looked at it, and I was like, well, this is obviously fake. But then I was like, well, you know what, let's follow this up. And I was like, well, there's no magazine mentions. There's no GeoCities mentions. There's no Angel Fire websites that have any info on it. There's no IMDb page. There's no voice actor credits for anything, like, even close to it. So I was like, well, yeah, this is probably fake. So I didn't follow it up. And then, like, Wang ended up doing, like, 3 videos about it afterwards. And, like, at that point, when you don't have a single piece of evidence after 3 videos, you know, I don't know what to tell you guys. Okay, gotta focus on this boss. Give me a second here. Alright. Nozo... Oh, God, you're making me pause here. Nozomu Yume donated $5, says, Deep Blue Fleet, Rising Sun, 90s OVA, where Japan wins World War II. Zipang was also a very similar anime to that. Have you ever seen Zipang? That's a naval anime about a World War II no, it was about a modern Japanese like boat fleet, like an airline carrier or something like that gets lost in the Bermuda Triangle and ends up like in 1950s or 1940s Japan with like modern a modern boat. And it's about, like, them re-winning World War II or something like that. It's crazy. I haven't seen that in a very long time. How you spell that? Zipang. It's a very long series. It has an anime. But yeah, that's very similar to the anime that you name-dropped earlier. So yeah, that idea of, like Japan, like, re-winning World War II in an anime, that's been, like, done in at least a couple of anime, I would say. Gotta focus on this boss. Immediate super chat donation. Yeah, obviously. Because people want to see me lose. Like, my pain is their enjoyment. Okay, come on. I love how this boss uses sound effects from Shinobi on the Sega Genesis. Like, that's fantastic. Alright, come on. It's 1 ring. Ah, close. Zipang, isn't that what Marco Polo called Japan? Zipango? Yes. That's why it's called. That's why it's called that. You may be a loser in Sonic, but you're a winner in my heart. Well, here's the thing. Like, here, look. Fine, you want me to focus on actually beating the boss? I'm trying to read the chat at the same time. You know, I grew up with this stuff. It's not like I'm horrible at Sonic the Hedgehog. And also, like I said, because of my streaming setup, I do have like 8 frames of input lag, so you're gonna have to like give me a little bit of leeway in my timing on this. You know, like these kind of video games were not meant to be played with like 1/10 of a second of input lag. Okay, come on. Okay. That one. Almost. Got that. I think it's one more hit, right? There we go, got him. You can destroy the star things if you collide with them while frozen. Did not know that. Is Zapang, they also... Hold on a second, just to read the chat while there's a scene transition. Give me a split second here to pull up the chat. Believe in yourself. I'd like to take out my old Genesis and play my Sonic games. Barry Chop says, hey Kenny, I don't know how many people know of this anime, but I had it on VHS in the 90s. Have you ever heard of Bumpity Boo? Yeah, it's about the car that's born from the egg. Yeah, I have seen Bumpity Boo a long time ago. It's not like something I would probably cover because it's like a kid's anime, you know? Like, what could you say about it? Zapang has 43 volumes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I mean, you wonder why it only had like 1 or 2 seasons. It's because they can't adapt something that long. It would be like adapting One Piece. It would be ridiculous. Have you seen an old anime with live-action dinosaur robot fights? I rented on VHS. It was pretty crappy. Are you thinking of... There's 2. You're talking about Return of the Dinosaurs? Might be the anime that you're thinking of. So type in Return of the Dinosaurs into Google. And if it's not Return of the Dinosaurs, you might be thinking of Attack of the Super Monsters. Alright? Let me know if it's Attack of the Super Monsters or Return of the Dinosaurs. It's probably one of those 2. Let's see here. Zapang got an English subtitle. Deep Blue Fleet never did because it is too politically incorrect. That said, it at least gets 100% adaptation in the manga. An anime over decades. I will check it out. Okay. Whoa. Okay, hold on. I gotta get out of this horrible situation. Let's see. Zapang did a. Sorry. Hold on a second. Ah. Okay, wait. Am I supposed to hold left here? There we go, got it. Wait, I went the wrong way. Okay, hold right. Hold right. Got it. There we go, finally got out. Holy crap. Let's see, Bumpity Boo is my childhood right there. Yeah, it was released on VHS from like, was it Family Home Entertainment or Just for Kids or something like that? I forget what company released it. Hold the button, yeah. Attack the Super Monsters, I believe. Thank you, Kenny. Alright, there you go. I'm glad that you finally know what your childhood robot, like, dinosaur anime is, thanks to me. That's really neat, is that Rise of the Sun and Fleet, blah, blah, blah. Any offensive anime? I would say all anime are offensive these days. Like, every other video that I get recommended on YouTube is some, like, video about, like, oh, this anime did this, or this voice actor did that. Or, like, is this anime, you know, okay? Are they allowed to do this in a certain anime? So, like, I would say the bar for what is offensive is so low now that, like, yeah, basically all anime are offensive. Cathode ray tubes, yes. Have you ever heard of the educational 3-part OVA where Mega Man went into the real world? And it's basically taught them their culture and history, and also Wily's there being evil sometimes. I know there's a couple of Mega Man OVAs, but like that particular one, no, I haven't heard of that one. That's a new one on me. See, that's the thing about the chat. I'm always learning things, which is also good. I was offended by how bad Inspector was. All these videos are just made by grifters. Wait, all those videos? Well, I mean, it's just YouTube in general. It's clickbait, right? People need to grow thicker skin. It's not even like they need to be like more thick-skinned. It's just like just a little bit more thick-skinned. Because like that's the reason that I did that video on the Laughing Salesman. Because like if you look up Laughing Salesman reviews, there are a couple of them. It's all people that were watching that show as like a seasonal show, which is not what it is. And they were all complaining about how like the Laughing Salesman was mean-spirited. But like he's no more mean-spirited than like Bugs Bunny. You know what I mean? He's just a character that completely messes people's lives over when they break his rules, you know? Like, Bugs Bunny generally was not, like, as long as you left him alone, wouldn't mess with you. But, like, the Laughing Salesman is like, oh, hey, do you need some help? Oh, okay, just don't break this one rule, and then you break the rule, and that's how the show goes. And for some reason, a lot of people thought that was, like, well, why would I watch a show about a character that can't be beaten that just messes with people's lives? And it's like, well, did you like the Twilight Zone? Because that's the same kind of thing, you know? All right, let me get some water here. Oh yeah, in the first season of The Laughing Salesman, absolutely he is cruel. There was at least one episode I remember The Laughing Salesman where there was this one guy who like got fired, so he needed a job, right? And because of that, he was like sitting at like a subway terminal or something like that, and looking through a newspaper. And the Laughing Salesman was like, "Hey, I got this one job I could give you. It's a really good job. You want this job, random guy that I just bumped into?" And like clearly the normal thing to do would be like, I don't know who you are, and no, I'm not gonna take some jobs from some random stranger that I just bumped into on a subway. However, because he said no, right, in that episode, the Laughing Salesman dons him anyway, you know, with his finger, and, you know, even though, like, he specifically said, no, I don't want your help, he still had to agree to his deal. So, like, earlier on in the show, in The Laughing Salesman, you know, it doesn't really matter what you do. Even if you bump into the Laughing Salesman, there's no way to say no to his deals. But they did kind of drop that like later on. So yeah, in that first season, The Laughing Salesman, that's full blown evil. Yeah, I mean, you know, I love that show. There's a couple of episodes that really stick out to me. There was like one episode where like I think that in that same episode, I'm trying to remember, he like that one guy was offered like a job where he was like, oh hey, you know, I'll give you a job that pays amazingly well, but you have to always come into work like every single day. And I don't know if it's just like a Japanese 1980s like thing where they were trying to teach some sort of moral or something like that. But like the guy gets sick one day, so he's like, well, I can't come into work. And that episode ends with him being like, you know, I can miss one day of work. It shouldn't be a big deal. And he comes home from like the doctor's office or something like that, and his house is just gone. You know, so like the Laughing Salesman is like, oh hey, you broke your promise. I'm just gonna disappear your house. I'm gonna take it from you because you paid for your house with the money that you got from your job. And like at that point, it's just like, oh, okay, well I can kind of see from like a Japanese perspective, they were going for like a, you know, you need to go to work even if you're sick kind of thing. But it's just like, man, that's just, it's really mean. You gotta love the Laughing Salesman. Skip work, lose your house. It makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. It's like a parody of those Aesop's Fable tales. Let's see. Missing work in Japan is a mortal sin. Yeah. So it's very Japanese centric, but those kind of values just like don't fly in Japan anymore. You can't be like, well, hey, you know, work until you die. That's kind of the thing that's kind of fallen out of favor. So that might be like another reason why the Laughing Salesman didn't do too well in Japan anymore. However, his pachinko machines are doing so well in Japan that if you type in Laughing Salesman in Japan, if you type in Laughing Salesman into YouTube with the Japanese name, I would say 99% of the videos are like pachinko machine videos. Because he's had like, I want to say maybe 10 different pachinko machines in there. God, gotta love this music. Listen to those jams they're playing. Yeah, the guy who did the music for this game is an absolute legend. I think the Laughing Salesman was an Oni in human form. Well, they kind of allude to him being the devil in at least a couple of episodes, but it really just doesn't matter. He's magic. You know, there's no reason like going into the minutia of it, you know? It's like watching Deadpool and not expecting him to kill people. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're watching Deadpool to see some guy beat Deadpool eventually, well, no. You know, you're kind of missing the point. Have you seen James May R. Man in Japan? Possibly? That sounds kind of familiar, but couldn't tell you. T-Lopes, yeah. Absolute legend. Kenny, could you help me remember an old anime I watched? It's a sci-fi anime in space about a black cat that talks and could Jedi mind trick its owner. That does not sound familiar. I really want to help you on that one, but I don't think I've seen that one. Sailor Moon? Yeah, technically. Sonic CD. Well, this is the Sonic CD level. It's not actually Sonic CD. Isaac says, I love your video. Which of my videos did you like the most? Hopefully I'm improving, I'd like to say. Tamala 2010. Is Sailor Moon tokusatsu enough? There are live-action Sailor Moon, like, episodes, or at least there's, like, a stage play. Do you have a favorite dub performance? I really like Trigun, I guess, Golden Boy, Mad Bull 34. Kino's Journey is actually one of my favorites in English. A lot of people say the English version of Kino's Journey isn't all that good. Like, specifically, they don't like Hermes. But I think it's perfectly serviceable dub. Let's see. My dad loved Dynamite in the Brain. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Did you guys actually watch Chargeman Ken after I did that video? I hope somebody went through the same pain that I did. Kyle Ronaldo pledged $5 through Patreon. Thank you so much. Wow. That message does not pop up all that often. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. We're almost up to, I think it's like a couple $100 already now on the Patreon. I will send you a message with the Discord invite after the stream. Thank you very much. Let's see. Bacano had a fantastic English dub. That's one of those anime that has like a very expensive DVD, doesn't it? What does Bacano go for? Like, if you want to get that anime in English, is that still available? Sailor Moon live action, yeah, absolutely is a thing. And like technically, I guess there's that American version of Sailor Moon that they did in the 1990s that never even came out. So like, I don't know if you want to call that tokusatsu, you could. But like, you know, tokusatsu is just like live action with special effects, you know what I mean? 16 episodes. Osamu Tezuka's Boggy Monster does not get... Okay, alright. Watch the episode of Chargeman Ken, and that still was enough for me. Thornreed donated $5 through Super Chat, says, I know you say you're not really a streamer, but your streams are always very entertaining. Also, thoughts on 2017 Kino's Journey? I haven't seen it. I've seen, like, the 2003 Kino's Journey. I would say almost, like, religiously. I've seen that anime 20 times. I should probably do a video about it at some point. There was, you know, there's a reason that I haven't watched it, and I love Kino's Journey, don't get me wrong, but the people that made that original series, they weren't involved with the remake, so I feel like it would be very tonally different. So I kind of don't want to ruin my perception of the series if the anime ends up not being good. So, you know, Kino's Journey has a special place in my heart, so I don't want to ruin it, you know? Let's see, agree about these streams, saw Sonic Mania and clicked instantly for the perfect combination of video game and player. I've been watching clips from the short-lived... Hold on a second. From the short-lived American Darkstalkers cartoon. Yeah, I never watched that when I was a kid. I'm sure it was on, I just never saw it. I did see the Mortal Kombat cartoon. And I don't remember it being particularly good. I think there was like a Double Dragon cartoon also. Ugh. Okay, hold on a second. Really? That Beavis and Butthead dub is surreal? Darkstalkers is a great fighting game? Yeah, absolutely. Darkstalkers is fantastic. Got it. What do you think of Ghost Stories dub? Everybody keeps telling me to do a video about Ghost Stories. And, you know, I feel like that's like beating a dead horse. Everybody has done a video about the Ghost Stories English dub at this point. So I kind of feel like I could do a video about it, but really, like, what could I say? It's a funny dub. Everybody's said everything there is to do about it. Would you rather have me do a video about Ghost Stories or some other thing that nobody's ever talked about before, you know? You know, I've got my priorities. Right now, it's just to cover stuff that that I've already got, like, ideas for, you know? Maybe if I run out of ideas at some point, I'll do a video about Ghost Stories, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, it's old hat. Absolutely. Everybody's already talked about it. You know, it's the same reason that I don't want to do a video about Saki Sanabashi, you know? Yeah, too mainstream. Would Chargeman Ken be a fun watch with friends video? Or, here's the thing. You can enjoy Chargeman Ken non-ironically, right? But the problem is, I said it in the video, sometimes you'll have an episode of Chargeman Ken, like Dynamite in the Brain, and you'll watch it, and it'll be the best thing that you ever seen in your life, right? But then like the next 5 episodes will just be the most boring thing that you've ever seen. And then like at that point, all of a sudden they'll get your attention again with like an episode where like the aliens are using like child orphans as slave labor, and you're like, oh god, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden, like the next 10 episodes are horrible. So maybe I go into it with no expectations. It's an experience. It really is. It's almost indescribable. It is like I've already said everything that I can say about it. You know what I mean? Sometimes people have 2 left hands or 2 right hands. Sometimes there's characters that don't have the correct amount of fingers. There's times where like people will be talking in Japanese and their mouth movements won't match up with what they're saying. Like it's wrong on like every level that you could think of. Let's see. The Laughing Salesman, he is a cursed anime businessman of sorts. Yes, he is. Top 10 Chargeman Ken episodes. Let's see. The best is when the characters are only partially colored in. Yeah, sometimes they don't even bother coloring in the characters. Let's see. You got to give us a list of weird Chargeman Ken episodes. I would say just watch the whole thing. I mean, they're only 5 minutes long. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen, right? Let's see. Got into Chargeman Ken from Nico videos. Well, you know, Chargeman Ken has been like a joke in Japan for so long that I kind of feel like you know, you should experience it by seeing it. Ah, so close. By seeing it, you know, for yourself. You should do a version of the best of the worst with random anime VHS tapes. Well, the thing about Best of the Worst is that's a good show because it's like a couple of people reacting to something. I don't know if I could carry a whole video on my own just talking about bad anime. Maybe if there's some other retro anime YouTubers or something, we could do a Best of the Worst. Yeah, just a frame or so off. I was very close there. Chargeman Ken is an acid trip. There's at least one anime I know of that I might do a video on sometime in the future that is more of an acid trip than Chargeman Ken. Because I saw an anime that had so many bright lights and explosions in it that it was physically painful for me to watch it. I don't know if I'll do a video on it at some point, but Bandit the Sage, I don't know. Bandit does videos on anime where he's making fun of the anime no matter how bad it is. And I kind of feel like that's a little unfair. You know, if an anime isn't on the level of Chargeman Ken, or Twinkle Nor Rock Me, or Girl Detective Club, you should probably not be making fun of it, you know what I mean? This part had the donkey Easter egg, yeah, which they removed in later versions of the game. Okay. Ah! Almost. There we go. Got it. Okay, $5 from N Beauty. The Shroom episode was great. Glad to be a patron. You do good work, my dude. That episode is so weird. So, like, he's talking about, or she, I don't know who the donation came from. They're talking about the episode Chargeman Ken, where it opens on, like, Chargeman Ken is going to school. Because he's like a regular kid, right? And all the kids in his class can't pay attention to their work. Like they're like hypnotized, right? So Chargeman Ken is like, why are all the kids in my class like completely aloof and out of their minds? So like he follows them into the woods, right? They get on a bus. Some person picks up all the kids in his class and they get on a bus. And he's like, where are all these kids going after school? And he follows them into the middle of the woods, right? And they're eating mushrooms in the middle of the woods. And it turns out like the entire plan of the aliens in that episode was to get the kids like addicted to hallucinogenic mushrooms so that they wouldn't do their homework. And like when you see things like that happen, you're just like, I have no idea. Did I lose my mind? Is this real? Like when you're seeing stuff like that in an anime, like, you know, I watched that episode like 5 times. I'm like, yup, that was the plot of the anime. That is exactly what I just watched. And when you have like 10 episodes like that stacked in front of each other, you start feeling like you're really, really going crazy, you know? Bennett the Sage on Grave of the Fireflies. Have not seen that. Like I said, I've only seen a few of his videos. I saw his video on Akira, which I didn't really care for. And I might have seen his video. God, what was it? Like, somebody told me that I needed to see his video on, what was it? Violence Jack? And then I, like, tried looking into it, and I'm like, he never did a video on Violence Jack. So, you know, maybe it was a deleted video or something like that. But, like, in general, I try not to watch other YouTubers' videos, you know, because I feel like, you know, once you start talking about other YouTubers, it's too much drama. You know, as long as everybody's liking anime, that's enough for me. You know, anime is for everybody. Let's see, stop watching stuff. Creator of Eat Man does sketch videos. Honestly, the Trigun OP is one of the best. Kimagure Orange Road had a Shrooms episode, although it was personality-altering mushrooms. His Violence Jack review is just him trolling. Oh, okay, alright. So I guess that was somebody trying to point out that he did a trolling video. $5 from Darkman, Freakazoid's cameos in Teen Titans Go. Yeah, I saw the Freakazoid episode of Teen Titans Go. My opinion on that is they changed his voice. If you watch Freakazoid back in the day, Freakazoid sounded like a normal dude. He would just be talking like a regular guy some of the time. But when he did like that Handman sketch, Freakazoid, you know, he had a very like Freakazoid-y, you know, voice. He would be like, "Oh, I'm a handman," you know, like in his in that voice, and he uses that voice for the whole episode, which to me is kind of weird. He didn't always talk with a lisp. Maybe like the voice actor can't do the voice anymore or something like that. I was just happy to see Freakazoid. You know, they should do a modern Freakazoid. That would be great. Kenny, did the Laughing Salesman make you a popular YouTuber? Yeah, I would say that was the #1 video that really kind of made the channel get a lot of exposure. You know, like, that was crazy. Because, like, at the time, I had maybe, like, 10,000 subscribers, and all of a sudden, I put the Laughing Salesman video out, and, you know, it's like, you know, it was, like, 15,000 views an hour for, like, 2 or 3 hours, and I was like, this is nuts. And I would say, really, off of that Laughing Salesman video was where the channel really started to get a lot bigger. Okay, come on. Alright, well. But yeah, it was the Laughing Salesman video, and then I guess the Twinkle Nor Rock Me video, and then also all of a sudden like that video that I did on Sukeban Deka, which you know, I don't think it's a great video. I think it's got a good thumbnail. Those 3 videos were probably the ones that really kind of made the channel get really, really big. Oh, no. Right. Let's see, not the lisp, but Freakazoid's original voice. Let's see, good comparison since too much of Pet Labor. Okay, alright, so you guys are talking amongst yourselves. That's fine. As long as you guys are talking about old anime, you know, I'll keep streaming. Kenny, let's see. I came in for Twinkle Nor Rock Me. Didn't Minky Momo blow up for you as well? A lot of videos that I do, for some reason, they just kind of explode. I would say the Golden Bat episode did really, really well. I'm so proud of that video. Golden Bat is like one of my favorite superheroes of all time, so I'm very happy that that video reached an audience. I could probably do like a follow-up, because there's this whole entire European thing that happened with Golden Bat, where like Golden Bat was named something like Diabolic in Europe, but there was like also like a wrestler with that same name in Brazil. So there's all these characters that have like the same name as Golden Bat that I could probably kind of tap into a little. I was asking what your opinion on Pat Labor is, and also Kochikame. Kochikame is too big for me to have any solid opinion on. You're talking about the comedy anime about the police officer, right? It's too long. I never got into it because it's like over 1,000 episodes or something like that, right? My first video of yours was Giant Gorg. Yeah, I still stand by that Giant Gorg video. Fantastic anime. You know, like, who doesn't love a story about a boy and his robot, right? Old anime I loved that never got any love was Yoiko. Let's see, I think my first video of yours was Minky Momo. Well, you know, Minky Momo does have other stuff. There's obviously the OVAs. I kind of only touched on the 1990s Minky Momo series. Kochikame is a legend in Japanese comics. Yes, it is. Will you ever cover Delinquent in Drag? Oh, you're talking about that OVA. Maybe at some point. You know, I've got other stuff on my plate, but like that is a male Sukeban anime, so like technically I could. If Kenny gets a girlfriend, the salesman will don him. I feel like if I ever get 1 million subscribers, all of a sudden the Laughing Salesman is gonna show up at my front door and just ruin my life. Okay, hold on. What the hell? How do I get up here? Oh, okay, there's a spring. Your Creamy Mommy video is my favorite. Yeah, it's crazy that, like, the company that made the MSX computers, all of a sudden, one day they went to Bill Gates and they're like, hey, listen, we want to advertise our Japanese computers, so how about we build, like, a dinosaur statue and have an event, right? That was the craziest thing, though. Oh, like a small dinosaur statue? They're like, nah, you know, how about we get the Godzilla people? Let's get Toho on this, and let's make it cost, like, $1 million. Like, that's, like, my favorite story about Japan having way too much money in the 1980s. And I just loved when I found out about that. Found about this video because of Skeban Deka. Creamy Mommy also sounds like an X-rated show. Well, it's named after the Creamy Crepe, which is Creamy Mommy, you know, like her parents have a crepe stand called the Creamy Crepe, and that's where she got her name from, so I can't believe no one recorded that. Yeah, there's no footage of that event, and here's the thing, like, Japan had camcorders and, like, handheld VHS tape recorders at that time, so absolutely somebody could have recorded that giant dinosaur event, but just nobody did for some reason. So the only first-hand accounts that we have of that event are from Japanese magazine scans. You know, like, thankfully those still exist. Otherwise, we wouldn't even know that happened. But I hope there's footage of that happens one day. My first video of yours was the Release That Bees one recommended me to by the mighty algorithm. I probably have to cover the anime that comes from. That comes from an anime called Hana no Ko Lunlun, which translates as like a little flower angel, I think, something like that. That anime has a very interesting history where it had 3 different English dubs in America, and none of them ever really got the series off of the ground. So, like, there's like 2 different VHS releases by 2 different companies, and then I think later on, William Winkler Productions, the company that tried to release Minky Momo in English, made their own, like, test dub of Lun Lun the Flower Angel. So that's a rare case where that anime has 3 English dubs, none of which got fully completed. So, you know, I should probably talk about that at some point. Gona Guy's Epic. Hey Kenny, there's this super obscure anime I think you would like called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh, what, JoJo no Kimi wa Boken? Is you talking about that? Yeah, I've seen that. Are you ever going to do a video on Midori? I think there are other people who have talked about Midori at some points, but it depends. I would have to find new info that nobody's talked about, because it's not about, like, being the first person to talk about an anime, but I like to find info that other people have not brought up. Because, you know, the thing about old anime is it has this, like, mystery and this mystique to it. And that's part of why I like old anime, is there's just so much mystery to it. You know, if something isn't mysterious in any way, then, you know, like, why would you be into it, you know? Kenny, would you say the dividing line between retro style and modern style... Wait, would you say... What would I say was the dividing line? I mean, there's a lot of dividing lines, but, like, if you really want to kind of codify it, I would say it's the split between digital and like, regular hand-drawn anime. And that's not to say, like modern anime isn't hand-drawn. It's drawn, it's just done on a computer. But I would say maybe it was like a subconscious thing where, like, anime started becoming... Like, anime was very, like, pointy in the 1990s. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, where, like, Dragon Ball Z, you would have the very pointed cheeks, and you would have the very pointed, chins and stuff like that. And at some point, for some reason, Japan just started rounding out their faces, like, to an incredible degree. And I don't know if that was because of the switch from digital to, analog to digital anime, but that's actually a very good question. I would have to think about that for a while. There's probably a reason that it happened that way, but I couldn't tell you exactly what it would be. Yeah, excellent question, by the way. You're getting me thinking now, which is good. I hate JoJo just for the annoying comments. Yeah, I was hoping people would be like, is this a Golden Bat reference in all the modern anime videos? But that hasn't really taken off for some reason. Let's see. I personally think 80s style was much better. I would say 80s anime as a style is more varied, right? Because they were experimenting more. And just, you know, as anime becomes more popular, it becomes a lot more standardized, I would say. You know, it became a lot safer. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like, you know, people like to joke about it. It is a very good anime. I like part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all very solid. It's just, you know, when you start forming all of your opinions about anime based on one series, I can understand that gets a little annoying. Let's see. Were there any anime that you saw once, but you couldn't find anymore or anywhere recently? Let me think. There's an English dub of Queen Mania and the Queen of 1,000 Years or so that never got released on VHS, and that's something that I've been wanting to watch in English for a long time. But it's like a kind of like Frankenstein's together combination of like a couple of Leiji Matsumoto's anime. They took the anime Queen Millennia and they combined it with Captain Harlock, and they kind of Voltroned it into one show. I think that's lost media, but I haven't seen that since that aired on TV. So that's my answer to that. Let's see, is the Cleopatra anime? Yes, but it's very art house, I would say. All right. Do you like the non-Donkey Kong Country video games? Well, like the 1994 Game Boy Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, I like that game. I got interested in JoJo late. Yeah, it's a good series. It's just too popular for its own good. You know, when you ask people, hey, what anime do you like? And 9 times out of 10, it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That gets a little annoying. Hopefully I can fix that with the YouTube channel and start recommending some more varied stuff so you guys can be like, hey, if you like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, maybe look into, you know, Ushio and Tora. Or, I don't know, Zenki. Something like that. You know, there's other shonen shows that are, like, at least tangentially, like, related to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that people might like that they're missing out on. So, I don't know. Subscribe to the channel and hopefully I can broaden people's horizons a little bit, huh? Those early adult anime films were so avant-garde. Yeah, you know, I like, you know, they didn't always land with me, but, you know, when an anime tries to be a little bit experimental, you gotta at least appreciate the fact that they're trying new things, you know what I mean? Or Fist in the North Star. Let's see, Ushio and Tora amazed me with how good it was. Yeah, but it's not a very good anime adaptation. Here's the thing. What they adapted was very good, however the manga for Ushio and Tora is much, much longer than the anime. So, like, if you want to, like, get into that series, I would say read the manga first, and then watch the anime, because they really only adapted, like, I want to say 60% of that series, and they cut out, like, a lot of the story. Nozomi Yume donated another $5, says, Harlock Millennia dub is out there on taped VHS tapes. I know the Corn Porn Flicks guys have a number of episodes. I don't know if any of that's out there, you know, but yeah, Corn Porn Flicks is absolutely, you know, legendary. You know, I respect that guy's channel and everything he's done. You know, he's done videos on all sorts of movies and stuff too. He did a Terminator movie retrospective that I recommend. Let's see. What else we got here? Whoop. Are you familiar with Planet Busters? Let's see, what's your favorite art house anime? I wouldn't call it art house, but I like California Crisis. Like, everybody always brings up, like, Angel's Egg as an art house movie. And it's like, yeah, I like it, but, like, here's the thing. The definition of what is and isn't art house is very, like, ill-defined. So I'm not exactly sure how to answer that question. Wait, cockroach anime? Were you talking about Twilight of the Cockroaches, right? Yeah, I've seen that. I guess you could technically call that art house. Oh, you thought you dreamt that anime as a kid? Yeah, Twilight of the Cockroaches is probably the anime that you're thinking of. It's very weird. It's half live action and half anime. It aired on, like, the Sci-Fi Channel. You probably saw it on TV at some point. Apparently, Digi hates Shinsekai Yori. I have no idea what that anime is. I have over 30 animes you guys recommended me since I got here. Well, that's great. Come on. Got it. Saddest anime I have ever seen. Saddest. I don't know. Ashita no Joe ends on a very somber note. Have you ever seen A Wind Named Amnesia? Yeah, that's great. Where Earth goes back to like caveman times because everybody loses their memory. Yeah, that's a guilty pleasure of mine. I like that movie. Thanks, Kenny. I've wondered about that anime for years because it freaked me out as a kid. Yeah, it's a weird anime. It's half live action and half hand drawn. So honestly, I probably could have used that as an example in my what counts as an anime video too. Because that's one of those weird, very difficult to define animes where it's like definitely half anime, but would you call it an anime? I don't know. It's kind of tokusatsu in a way. I don't know about Joe. I think he went out the way that he wanted to. Yeah, Joe did what he wanted to, and he went out because like he knew he was gonna get like punch drunk syndrome at some point. So yeah, absolutely, Joe went out on his own terms. Have I seen Weather Girl? I have not. I want to say thank you for introducing me to Space Family Carl Vinson. It was so cute and all kinds of warm and fuzzy. Well, you know, the guy who made that manga. Here, let me actually backtrack a second. Space Family Carl Vinson now has a fan-translated English translation now. So if you wanted to watch Space Family Carl Vinson in English, you could, read it in English, you could probably do that. And, you know, I don't know if I played a hand in that video, in that manga getting translated into English, but you can start reading Space Family Carl Vinson right now, which is pretty cool. The guy, Asari, the guy who did Space Family Carl Vinson, also did a Golden Bat manga. If you guys have not read that, it's called Wahaha Man. Go ahead and type in WAHAHAHA Man into Google. Wahaha Man is a Golden Bat parody manga created by the guy who did Space Family Carl Vinson. So there you go. Watkins donated $5 through Super Chat, says, speaking of old school, gotta love Satoshi Urishihara and how he bankrupted a studio with a 30-minute film. Hold on a second. With a 30-minute film because of all the detail. Am I thinking of the right director here? Hold on a second here. Oh, you're talking about the Plastic Little guy. Yeah, the guy who did Plastic Little was such a perfectionist and wanted so many frames of animation that he basically got kind of like kicked out of the animation industry. Because he was like, well, everything needs to be animated on 1 frame of animation or 2 frames of animation. And he was such a perfectionist. How do I spell that again? Wahaha Man. So type in WAHAHAMAN. It's a Golden Bat parody manga by the guy who did Space Family Carl Vinson. Cannot recommend that manga enough. He also ruined Cream Lemon. Yeah, he's like, you gotta respect him, but that guy, like, when you're like working Japanese animators into the ground that are already basically doing slave labor, like at that point, like if you're pissing off people at that point, like where they still don't want to animate with you, then yeah, like you're asking too much of people. To be fair, Plastic Little looks like it should have bankrupted the studio. You can see where the money went. The Chad watching Chargeman Ken versus the Virgin watching new anime. Well, you know, I said that in that video. If you can get through Chargeman Ken, you can get through anything. So, you know, watch Chargeman Ken, knowing that like your life will never be the same. How did he ruin Cream Lemon? He was asking like too much from the animators. How are you? I am doing fantastic. I am doing great. Having a wonderful time. How are you, Nothing? Are you doing okay? Sounds like Takahata Isao a bit. Chargeman Ken is great to put on at parties. Yeah, because, well, here's the thing. You gotta pay attention to Chargeman Ken. That is an anime that demands your full attention. If you don't watch, if you're not paying attention to Chargeman Ken 100% of the time, you're gonna miss, like, characters not being colored in correctly. You're gonna miss, like, voices not coming out from the right characters. Like, there was legitimately, like, a character in Chargeman Ken where I swear to God, I hope I'm not, like misremembering this, but it was like a woman's voice was coming out of, like, a male character's mouth that had, like, a mustache. So, like, sometimes the voices don't even match the characters properly. Okay, so there was a donation. I was playing the video game, so I'll have to get back to you for a second here. Let's see what the donation was. We got $1 from Hentai with Senpai, and he just left a message saying "ooh-woo." He ooh-wooed in my stream. Thank you very much for $1. Let's see, off topic, I thought going through my old VHS, I watched Orphan, and it looks good on YouTube to find it was getting a redo for its 20th. I have never really known it had a following, so maybe it should come back. Yes, I was recently rewatching Innocent recently. Okay, cool. I caught up with the chats, finally. What's the biggest travesty of an adaptation in your opinion? I'd have to sit down and actually really think about that hard. I don't want to like say like one anime is the worst adaptation of all time, because maybe that'll be a video sometime in the future. Have you seen Planet Busters, aka Birth? Yes, I have. Absolutely amazingly animated. The guy who worked on Dragon's Heaven, Makoto Kobayashi, the guy who worked on Dragon's Heaven, he worked on Birth. I think that was probably his very first OVA where he did mechanical designs. I remember Bandit recently reviewed and... Okay, hold on a second. God, these messages are just going so fast. Okay, let me scroll back. Let's see. From Autobot Starscream says, I remember Bandit, the Sage, recently reviewed an anime that was originally going to be part of Cream Lemon, but it got converted to a normal anime, and that arguably ruined it. Well, you know, a lot of those erotic light hentai, they would be adapted into full anime later on. You saw that with like Dream Hunter Rem. Like that was like a light erotic anime, and then they ended up cutting out all the controversial bits, and they made that into a full series. So just like with Cream Lemon and like Project A-ko, that was not an uncommon thing that happened back in the day. What is the proper way to watch the Leijiverse in production order? So here's the thing about watching Leiji Matsumoto's anime. If you're trying to like put them all on a timeline, you're gonna have a bad time. Leiji Matsumoto has a bunch of characters and archetypes that show up in all of his series. But like if you're going into his shows with the assumption that they're all connected together in like this one long narrative, you're just gonna go crazy. There's no way to... Come on. How do I do this? There's no way to actually... Come on! There's no way to actually watch his shows in a long narrative. Otherwise, you know, you're just gonna go crazy. Now, I wonder what this does. Is there like a secret area down here or something? Hey, there we go. Found a secret. Hold on a second, actually. There was a donation that I missed. Hang on. Let's see here. Speaking of... Alright, here we go. Nozomi Yume donated $2. Harlock plus Millennia Masek dub is on archive.org. Well, thank you very much for letting me know about that. Okay, hold on. Where is it? There we go. Got it. Yes, the alternate universe of animes. Yeah. What anime would you remove from history to change the present? That's a good question. Hydrate yourself. I'm drinking a lot of water. It's hard. Okay, Canadian 699 from Meow Nyan. Looking forward to Hathaway's Flash, Kenny. That was my came from left field announcement of 2018. Well, that's been delayed now because of the whole like pandemic, right? Is that coming out soon or no? Remove Lucky Star. Lucky Star is not the worst anime of all time. I know that's like a hot take. It's not an anime that I personally enjoy, but it's not like it's something that ruined anime, right? $5 from Necro C. Aren't you going to talk about Space Adventure Cobra? Probably at some point. Discotech tried to dub it, but said that it didn't work out, but put the 2 episodes that they did do on the Blu-ray release. There's actually like a pilot for like an English version of Space Adventure Cobra out there. I don't know if it ever went past 1 episode, but yeah. Remove Sword Art Online. So here's the thing, I've never seen Sword Art Online. People keep telling me that's a bad anime. Can you guys in the chat, like, let me know why that's considered to be, like, a legendarily bad anime? I'm completely ignorant about it. It might be a joke. I have no idea. But, yeah, I hear that a lot. I loved Lucky Star. Azumanga Daioh. Yes, I love Azumanga Daioh. You gotta love it. Remove Green or Love Hina. Why remove a bad anime? Just make it more iconic. Delete anime forever. I nominate Akira. Delete Akira. God, that would really change things. Because, like, Akira was instrumental in, like, making anime more popular in the 1990s. I think it's just a cliche. So, yeah, it's like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure jokes. Yeah, alright. So it's probably just not that bad, then. Main character says, why did you do this to the villains? Alright, I can't read the chat while I'm doing a boss battle. Give me a second here. Alright. Whew. Let's see. Peon says hello. Hey, how's it going, Peon? There's an abridged series of Sword Art Online. Protagonist is basically Jeebus. Sword Art Online's badness is overstated. It's mainly just a painfully mediocre shonen generic series. Okay, well, there's tons of series that are painfully mediocre. I mean, I did that video on Girl Detective Club, and I said that's the worst type of anime. Because, like, there's nothing to say about it. Like, some cute girls, like, go into a haunted house, and, like, nothing happens. So, like, really, the worst anime, I would say, are the ones where there's just nothing to say about them. There's Cybershell is rubbing off on you. Yeah, I kind of watched a few too many of Cybershell's videos before I did that What Even Is an Anime video. More videos in the future will be kind of just back to normal. You know, I guess I went a little bit too far in a couple of places. It wasn't .hack, remove code geese. I think I saw your review on that. What do you make of Sukeba Deka? Sukeba Deka is good. I mean, the first series is a pretty cool tokusatsu adjacent, like, detective series. And then I honestly like the third one. The third one is the Ridiculous series, where all the characters have ninja powers. You know, here's the thing about Sukeba Deka. You got a lot of variety. It's got a lot of variety to it. Have I watched Psycho Pass? Let's see, I think it's pretty darn good. It makes me want to stop. Let's see. Stop making videos for 3 years straight. God, so many old anime I could think of. There was this one guy called Seven who ripped Sword Art Online apart. Wait. Are there any good mystery anime that nobody know about? I feel like Detective Conan kind of cannibalized all of the mystery anime out there. Because, like, after Detective Conan became popular in Japan, just, like, nobody wanted to do any detective shows after that. I mean, I'm sure there's examples you could come up with, but, Now, is my mic not working? Here, tell me, in the chat, is my mic working or not? If you can hear me, let me know. Detective Conan is god tier mystery anime. Yeah, you can hear. I just wasn't talking for like a minute. Okay, mic is fine. All right, good. I recently learned that one of the actresses in the live-action Skib on Deck series also sung the opening theme to Mason Ikoku. Oh, well, that's a pretty cool piece of info. Let's see. Closest is detective stuff is... All right, can't read that message. I can hear you. All right, perfectly fine. Good. Yeah, there's like 1,000 episodes of Detective Conan. Like, let's see. Why won't you give Gintama a chance? I'm sure it's fine, but, you know, there's other stuff I'm watching. It's not that I'm not into the newer shows. It's just like I've got so much on my plate as far as watching older stuff. You know, it's just too much. It's too much. $5 from Interdimensional. Let's see. Okay, hold on a second. It's going to take a second for this to pop up. Hypothetically, was violent anime OVAs from the 1983 would closely resemble Saki Sanobashi? Well, I've already said in the chat before, like, if Wang has done 3 videos on Saki Sanobashi with literally 0 evidence that it exists at this point, then, you know, I don't know what to tell you. There are 1980s OVAs that have some scenes in them that are kind of vaguely similar enough. But the problem is, like, the original person who made up that story, he made it just vague enough where it could be, like, literally anything. And that's why people are still searching for an anime that doesn't exist. Because, like, yes, there are a lot of anime about Japanese schoolgirls. Yes, there are a lot of 80s anime out there. Yeah, there are a couple of 80s OVAs with violent scenes in them with schoolgirls in them. But, like, it's so vague enough that, like, you know, people are searching for something that just is not there. There's great 80s animes with no subs, too. Yeah, I constantly watch them. You know, I own VHS tapes of OVAs that, like, not only are they not even subtitled, they're, like, not even online anywhere just because, like, nobody cares about them. Maybe the real Saki was the friends we made along the way. Ha ha ha. Kenny, I lost my job recently. Is your carpet warehouse hiring? We are not, because demand for carpets has is like an all-time low. For some reason, everybody is into AstroTurf and tiles. Do I speak Japanese? Wakarimasen. Sorry. Do not understand Japanese. Not very well, anyway. Have you ever heard of Dorogan Baru? That one seems obscure. I have not heard of that one. Like, I know some Japanese, but it's not like I'm fluent in it. Have you ever gotten any lost media? Yeah, I'm sitting on lost media right now. Just all my VHS tapes. Carpet cleaners hate them. Would you consider uploading those VHS tapes online? If I want to get in trouble, sure. Like, here's the thing about having a YouTube channel. I can't just be like, oh, hey, I have a VHS tape of an anime that no one's ever seen on the internet. You know, it's lost media. Well, that's the end of the, my channel if all of a sudden I start putting them on the internet, you know? I would love to, but I'm in a weird place where I just, you can't just, like, put anime onto the internet. You kind of get in trouble for that sort of thing. Dragon Baru equals Dragon Ball. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Secret anime accounts? Especially that being SNG. Have you ever seen Initial D? You know, people like to make fun of that, like, as like a joke. You know, it's the meme, all the Initial D music. To be honest, I've seen more, like, 1980s, like, biker anime than I've seen, like, the street racing stuff. Almost forgot about Dragon Half. Favorite classic anime opening? Mospida, probably. Have you guys seen the intro to Genesis Climber Mospida, Mospeada? That's probably my favorite intro to any anime. I'm glad someone explained my dumb joke. Well, you know, the way that I view jokes is, like, if you have to explain the joke, then it probably isn't funny, right? Really like Ayane's high kick. Am I into Super Sentai and Tokusatsu? A bit. I've been getting into more of, like, the Kamen Rider and the team-based Sentai shows more recently. But, like, if I start dipping into that, then I have to stop talking about anime. I kind of dipped into that a little with the Golden Bat video. I talked about how Golden Bat is technically the very first Tokusatsu hero, right? How do I feel about the newer anime these days? Newer anime is fine, but I just tend to not watch it because I'm I'm catching up on the 1980s and 1990s stuff. I'm more of a Robotech guy myself. Love your videos, man. Well, thank you very much. I'm trying my best. Hopefully I end up reaching more people sometime in the future. If you guys like my videos, you know, it's a cliche YouTuber thing to say, but, you know, you got to hit that bell so your phone explodes with notifications every single time I do a video. I don't know why, but sometimes YouTube will just not send out my videos. Like, you look at the Golden Bat video. The Golden Bat video got like 400,000 views, but like immediately after that, it was like, you know, like 25% of it. Sometimes YouTube just won't send a video out. I don't know why. Maybe it's the title, maybe it's the thumbnail. You can never tell with YouTube. Where did you find VHS of forgotten anime? Just go on Japanese auction sites. Type VHS anime into like Yahoo Japan. You can find dozens and dozens of VHS tapes that way. Any recommendation for good, not well-known anime from the 80s or 90s? Well, here, that's what the channel is about, right? I mean, I can give you guys recommendations in the chat, or I can do an entire video about them. Tell me about it. YouTube never notifies me about anything. Here's the thing. Like, there are YouTube channels where I hit the bell and they still won't notify me. I don't know why. Do you know where I can find old art books? I mean, really, auction sites are basically the only way you're going to find that stuff these days. I can't tell what genre Mospeeda is. Is it military? Is it jets? It's motorcycles that turn into power armor. So, mecha technically, I guess. Let's see. Do Japanese VHS tapes work on American VHS tape players? Yes. All Japanese VHS tapes are region-free to play in America. However, Japanese VHS tapes played in American VCRs will play slightly darker. I don't know why, but there's some sort of brightness difference between Japanese VHS tapes and American ones. So, like, technically, if you play a Japanese VHS tape on an American VCR, it will be very, very slightly darker. You probably won't even be able to notice it, but, you know, that is something to be aware of, I should say. Favorite mecha anime? God, that's a good question. Couldn't tell you. This is my favorite remix level. Weirdly enough, let's see, there's, okay, the chat's moving too fast, so too fast for me to read. What about Japanese Laserdiscs? Japanese Laserdiscs are also region-free. Huh. Okay, where am I supposed to be going here? That's freaking weird. Was I going in the wrong direction or something? Wrong way? Okay, am I supposed to be going this way, or am I supposed to be going up? Like, here's an enemy. Where am I supposed to be going? Yeah, see, because, like, this is a dead end. Yeah, I probably have to go back the other way. Okay, this is what I was supposed to be doing. Or maybe I'm supposed to go down this way? Is this a switch here? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out which way I'm supposed to be going here. There we go. I was going the entirely wrong way. You were going the right way before. Spin dash down the elevator. Opinion on samurai anime? Well, I would say if you want to get into samurai anime, you should really kind of watch Japanese samurai films. You know, start with the Seven Samurai. That's how I started getting into samurai stuff. You need to watch Bible Man. It feels like you missed something. Is Bible Man tokusatsu? Like, that's the question. Have I seen House of the Five Leaves? I have not, but that's been on my backlog forever now. Samurai 7 is pretty decent. You really are a goldmine for recommendations, Kenny. Well, thank you. I try to be. Let's see. Newer Samurai anime. Watch Red Sun. Have I ever heard of Gegege no Kitaro? Yeah, Gegege no Kitaro is absolutely legendary. It's got like 6 anime to it, so it's not like, you know, I would be surprised if people haven't heard of that series. $6.99 from Meow Nyan. What character designers define retro anime for you? Let's see. Yeah, Yasuhiko, absolutely. I mean, he did Giant Gorg, he did Arion. Obviously, he worked on Gundam, Gundam the Origin. What else? What else did he did? Venus Wars, I guess. I mean, I really like the artist for Dream Hunter Rem, but obviously, nobody's gonna be talking about like Crystal Triangle. It's not exactly known for its artistic merit, but thank you for your Charge Man Ken video. I haven't laughed that hard about an anime in so long. Some guy left a message on God damn it. Some guy left a message on that video just recently saying that it was an incredibly annoying video that I did. I hope I wasn't annoying, but that was just me like dealing with the madness that I was watching right in front of me, Didn't the director of Planet Busters incorporate his wife into the OVA? I wouldn't know. Wouldn't know. How did you feel about 13 Assassins? Haven't seen it. Have I watched Labyrinth of Flames? No, I have not. Here's the thing about anime. There's literally like hundreds and hundreds of anime, so like odds are there's gonna be a bunch I haven't seen. Have I seen Ojo Majo Dore Mi? As far as magical girl stuff, like I haven't seen Dore Mi and I haven't seen Pretty Cure. I'm more into like the Studio Pierrot 1980s stuff. And honestly, I like the older stuff. As far as like magical girl stuff, I've been watching Sally the Witch a little bit. Do you guys know about Sally the Witch, the very first magical girl? It was a 1960s magical girl anime that the creator of the series made because was it I Dream of Genie? Was that the show that was airing in Japan? Or maybe it was Bewitched. Yeah, okay. So like Bewitched was very, very popular in Japan in the 1960s, and because of that, we got the very first magical girl anime. So, if you haven't watched like Sally the Witch, obviously it doesn't really hold up, but it's a cute little show about a girl with magic powers. So like technically, I guess I'm into that. Let's see, Bewitched. Yes, that was what I was thinking of. I Dream of Genie was a completely different thing. She even cosplayed as her. Speaking of Pierrot, I once saw a clip of their site back in the early day of the 2000s, and one day, I was shown Mon Chinese Theater. Let's see, thoughts on Gurren Lagann? I think Gurren Lagann is like a solid 7 out of 10. It's very good, however, it relies heavily on you being into like 1970s anime to get all the references, because like that anime is just like filled to the brim with 1970s and 1970s anime references. And taken on its own, it's very good if you're not into those anime. But I would say it's a lot better if you're into all the little stuff that they're referencing, I think Aqua Teen Hunger Force did the detectives turned into a random thing. Pierrot Show, Blue Gender, forgot. Okay, hold on a second. There was a donation. Let me look it up real quick. Rodrigo Santa Cruz donated $5, says, will you ever make a video about Hanada Shonen Shi? That does not sound familiar to me. Let me do a quick Google search of that. No. I have not heard of this for some reason. Do you think that should be on my radar? Does it have like a lot of cultural relevance? Maybe I should look into that. That's a new one on me. Let's see. I think Utena does sort of count as a magical girl anime. I feel like Utena is more like a magical mecha anime. It's like a magical mecha shoujo. Like, technically, I guess if you wanted to view it as a magical girl anime, you could, but, it does a lot of different things. Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill are Studio Trigger's love letters to Go Nagai. Alright. What do you think of Technolize? I haven't seen it since it came out. I remember it felt a lot like Serial Experiments Lane. Yeah, Kenny, I can also agree with that statement. Utena is a magical woman. Yeah, like, technically, like, you could look at Cutie Honey as, like, a magical girl anime. But, like, she's, isn't she, like, 16? I've always not viewed that as a magical girl anime, but there are technically a couple of series that you could view as those genre. See, like magical girls as a genre wasn't, like, really codified at the time that that Cutie Honey came out, so... Okay, hold on. I will get to your message in a second. I'm trying to beat this boss. Give me a moment here. My question is, like, when is this boss vulnerable to attacks? That's the thing. Let's see. Usagi is 16 and Sailor Stars. Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is. It's more of the way that they, like, draw Cutie Honey. Because Cutie Honey is, like, a very tall magical girl, you know? Okay, let me check on the Super Chats. Let's see. Ellen Yaya donated $50. Wow. Hey, Kenny, Ellen Yaya from Duluth. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Remember when all we watched was Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and Bible stories? Well, you're talking about like Superbook, right? Because Superbook was an anime. The Flying House was also technically an anime on the Christian Broadcast Network. So yes, I did grow up with a lot of that stuff. There's so much anime that is rare that I could talk about at the same time. Let's see, about the same anime I watched with my friends, Much Led Strangers. Well, you know, a lot of that anime, people just completely forget about these days. You know, your average Joe, average Joe isn't going to know what the Flying House is. But yeah, like there were a lot, you would watch any anime that you could watch back in the day, regardless of what it was. What was on the Flying House? You had on the Christian Broadcast Network, you had the Flying House. You had Honey Honey, I believe. There was also Kimbo the Lion. I mean, it's surprising how much like anime was aired on the Christian Broadcast Network. But yeah, that was a thing. Cutie Honey is like how Hercules technically isn't a superhero. Was the Adventures of David the Gnome an anime? I mean, I suppose. You know, I don't like getting into these what is an anime arguments because, like, you know, I already got that out of my system. All right. Are fireworks a type of... Well, fireworks are a type of animation, but you wouldn't call them a drawing. Like, the main distinction between what is an anime and what isn't is, like, is it drawn or not? Is, like, the main thing. So, like you wouldn't call Sesame Street a cartoon because it's not a drawing. So for that reason, you wouldn't call like, you know, Thunderbolt Fantasy an anime because they're puppets, you know? Who is my anime waifu? I would say I don't have one. There's too many to choose from. Okay, let's see here. Let's see, do you focus on 32X? Hold on a second. I need to actually beat this boss. I will get to the messages in the chat in a moment. Come on. Alright, come on. Oh, too slow. Sonic is too slow. Alright. There we go. Now I got the turbo boost, so now I can catch up. Alright, come on. Alright. A little bit more. Holy crap, Sonic is fast. Okay. Okay, I can see the UFO. Come on. I can see it. Just need to get there. Come on. Oh, I can't see where I'm going. You guys are screwing me up with the super chats. Alright, come on. It's just a straight line. This is like the second bonus area. Why am I so bad at this? Alright, come on. A little bit further. Getting closer. Come on. Closer. Almost. A little bit more. Got it. Whew. Okay. Sorry. I guess there was a donation there. Okay, Nikki the Swordsman for $5 says, I have no idea what's going on, but good night, my friend amigos. Stay fantabulistic and have a wonderful night filled with anime and randomness. Well, thank you very much. Okay, another message, $5 super chat from Ristani says, is coffee art and anime? Here's the thing. I would argue that that is an anime. You're talking about the people who draw like anime artwork in their frappuccinos, right? If there were a way to do like a stop motion animation of people drawing anime in coffee, and you were to string that together into an anime, you could make an anime out of coffee. But only if you were to do stop motion drawings of the anime coffee. I want to see that happen, honestly. There probably is a YouTube video out there that does that. Excellent question, by the way. Let's see, what else we got here for messages. $5 Australian from Ristani. Already answered that one. Bantam Jack donated. Absolute Madman donated $40. Says, Bantam Jack says, big fan. Seriously love your content. Have you ever considered covering the history and evolution of mecha anime? That's a good question. As far as like more mecha stuff, I kind of feel like I should. Like, here's a question for you guys. Is the super robot genre a thing? Or is it just like this nebulous definition? Because I would argue there's a bunch of different genres of mecha. You have the combining, you have like the combining team-based mecha anime. You have like super robots, I would say is like a genre, right? But some people say that there is no distinction between super robots and like realistic robots. So I don't know, maybe that's a thing that I could kind of cover. But like at that point, you're kind of theory crafting. It's like a very nebulous definition to be like, well, this is realistic robots and this is super robot. Like some of the stuff that happens in Armor Trooper Votoms is very unrealistic, And a lot of the stuff that happens in like Fang of the Sun Dogram is also very unrealistic. But would you call the robots in Dogram like super robots just because of the scale of them? It's an interesting subject. I'm just not exactly sure how I would cover it. I'm more into taking things a little bit at a time. I think, honestly, like Tetsujin 28 should probably be like a video at some point because, you gotta start back all the way at the very beginning if you want to talk about like the robot stuff. Like technically, I think the very first combining robot thing ever is like that one manga about the team of babies that like pilot a mecha, right? How far do you want me to go back as far as like covering old anime? I don't know. I will cover more mecha stuff in the future. I'm not sure what it's gonna be, but yeah, definitely I'm gonna be covering more mecha. I guess just keep tabs on my channel. You'll see more mecha stuff in the future. You're saying respect the robot. So you guys know about the bootleg Gundam statue in like that one Russian town, right? There's this story of this one town where like the mayor in I want to say it was Russia, but it probably wasn't. The mayor of this one town in Russia, he spent like all of the budget for his entire town on like a Zaku statue. And when people asked him, why did you build a giant Zaku statue in the middle of the town? His response was respect to the robot. And that like you can't make that stuff up. Was it in Kazakhstan? Yeah, it probably was in Kazakhstan. This was like, I want to say like 5 years ago. So yeah, my memory kind of failed me a little bit on that. It was in Turkey, if I recall. Maybe. Creator of Tetsujin 28 had a wild cause of death. He was also the creator of Sally the Witch, I believe. Was the creator of Sally the Witch the same person who did Tetsujin 28 and Giant Robo? I could be wrong. I'm admittedly a little ignorant on the works of that guy. Isn't Gigantor / Tetsujin 28 remote controlled? He's still piloted, just remotely. Well, here's the thing. Like, some people would say that's technically not a mecha, that's a kaiju, because are you piloting something if you're controlling it with a remote control? Like, at that point, I'd say you're splitting hairs, Dude was a new type for sure. Thoughts on Vampire Hunter D movies? Vampire Hunter D is fantastic. I like Bloodlust a little bit more than the one from the 1980s, but they're still both very good, I would say. Thoughts on Vampire Hunter D movies? Keep getting killed in this one spot. Anyway, thank you very much for the $40 donation. I will be covering more mecha stuff in the future. I don't know. Let's see. Yes, he was the same person as Sally the Witch. Yeah, thankfully, at least I know that much. Like, I'm like the magical girl channel, apparently, even though I've only done, like, 2 videos on magical girl anime. So, like, a lot of people expect me to know about, like, all of these magical girl series. Here's the thing, like, there's a bunch of smaller ones that I want to cover, like, but, like, do you guys really want a video about, like, magical Do-Re-Mi? Or, like Miracle Girl, like, Limit Chan? Like, at that point, I kind of feel like I'm gonna be losing you guys, you know? It's the curse of Minky Momo. Yes, it is. You do one video about Minky Momo, and all of a sudden you're the Minky Momo guy. Okay, gotta go a little bit slower here. Let's see, the nice thing is that people seem to want Kenny's channel taking off as a channel. I think it is taking off. I remember when I had like 300 subs for like a couple of years. And then all of a sudden, like, I did that video on Skebon Deka and the Laughing Salesman, and all of a sudden, people are all of a sudden like, hey, I hope your channel gets like 1 million views. Which is crazy. I didn't think people were even into older anime, to be honest with you. But it's weird. YouTube, you end up reaching millions of people because it's like a global website. The days of talking to a person about VHS tapes in some comic book store in the middle of nowhere are kind of over. Why do I keep dying in that one spot? How is that thing killing me? How do you get a game over in Sonic the Hedgehog? God damn. Let's see. My guess on that is that there is a lot of fatigue in the variety of modern anime. I would say that's more of like people just not knowing what modern anime are coming out. Okay, so like you're saying a lot of people are bored of modern anime because it's all the same, right? That's your current stance. I would say it's more of people not willing to try new modern anime. There is this one show called Gal Toe Dinosaur. Do you guys know about Gal Toe Dinosaur? I watched that anime and I thought that was hilarious. And I was like, hey, modern anime isn't that bad. They made Gal Toe Dinosaur. It's a show that just came out about some teenage girl who is renting out a apartment building with a dinosaur. And it's just like a comedy that's funny. Like I like that anime, but like where's the people making videos about Gal Toe Dinosaur? What the heck? Yeah, I just thought it was neat. I thought that was a neat anime. I think it's more people just don't even realize what's out there. To me, kaiju means giant living creature. Well, here's the thing. Like, my definition of kaiju is this. Kaiju is any Japanese monster, right? Because technically in Japan, they have a different classification for gigantic kaiju. In Japan, like any crazy monster is called a kaiju, and something like Godzilla size is called a dai kaiju. So they're like people are technically using like the wrong term. Like when you think of something like Mothra, that's technically a dai kaiju. It's not a kaiju. But people like to mix those terms up. So I don't know. Like I said, you're splitting hairs at that point. Let's see. 13 Sucky donated $1 with no message. Thank you very much for the 99 cents. Let's see. Barry Choppa donated $5. Says, what about video game OVAs that are direct sequels to the games? And also OVAs being dubbed and released 2 DVDs, but not the game, like Blue Submarine number 6. Technically, like Yuna. Right? There's that one anime about the mecha pilot girl Yuna that's based on like the PC Engine video games. Technically, like that's a direct continuation of those PC 98 shmups. So it's not like that hasn't happened. Daiguren Lagan was the size of a galaxy. I've been stuck on Trigun forever. Let's see. Are the Daikaiju Lovecraftian? Well, they refer to Godzilla as a Daikaiju, right? Fire Emblem had a dubbed OVA, yeah, and it's super expensive. I've been wanting to own that on VHS for like forever now. It's like a $100 VHS tape. I don't know where all these Fire Emblem fans came out of nowhere. I remember there was a time where people didn't even know what Fire Emblem was. Tell me Galco-chan is the full title. So Sonic is all about stealing from Dragon Ball. Well, yeah, I guess technically. I mean, 7 Chaos Emeralds, 7 Dragon Balls, Super Sonic, Super Saiyan. I mean, like, technically. But, like, you know, saying that, like, Sonic is a ripoff of Dragon Ball Z, like, everything rips off Dragon Ball Z, you know? A brand played in my basement named Daikaiju. That's an awesome band name, man. Whoa. Is Godzilla technically tokusatsu? Yeah. Absolutely. The Japanese word tokusatsu is just like movie with special effects, right? It's not like this very strict thing. It doesn't even need to be Japanese. Like there's Chinese tokusatsu, right? Like in Japan they consider stuff like the 1970s Incredible Hulk to be tokusatsu. They consider like the 1960s Star Trek, they think that's tokusatsu. 1960s Batman is tokusatsu by that definition. Sonic never... Let's see, is the Trigun movie good? Yeah, I've seen that. Trigun Badlands Rumble, right? Yeah, great movie. Kaede from Last Blade? What, the SNK fighting game? Yeah. The Trigun movie is okay if you want more Trigun. Well, any Trigun would be great. I wish they would, like, readapt, what was it, Trigun Maximum, but they don't seem to be doing that. Okay, Minced Meat donated $5, says, hey, Kenny, got any recommendations for fantasy anime? I've already seen stuff like Record of Lodoss War, Slayers. Go ahead and look into a movie called The Weathering Continent. The Weathering Continent is a very D&D based type of movie. It's a ghost story about 3 travelers going through the desert and them exploring ruins of a haunted abandoned town. Yeah, I would look into that. If you have not seen The Weathering Continent, that would probably be right up your alley. It's a little slow. I don't know if you're really into the slower, methodically paced anime, but I enjoyed The Weathering Continent quite a bit. It's a little slow, but I liked it. Best fantasy anime ever is Berserk. That looks rad. Okay, hold on a second. Let me look at... Okay, Rodrigo Santa Cruz donated $2. Says there's a VHS tape of Fire Emblem for $5 and 50 cents on eBay. Well, hopefully that's still up there by the time that I made the listing. Thanks for telling me in the chat, by the way. I'm sure somebody won't buy that immediately by the time I get to it. If you guys have, like, tips for, like, you know, VHS tape listings, like, please, like, email me or something like that. Don't put it in a stream with, like, 400 other people. That would probably help. Ruin Explorers is another good one. Yeah. Well, that's like 3 OVAs, though, right? Thoughts on Gale Force franchise? Gale Force, like, I like the guy who did... that was made by the guy who did, what is the name of that series? Gunsmith Cats and Riding Bean. It's a little weird, you know, I'm not really into the whole, you know, characters wearing diapers thing in Gale Force. But, in general, yeah, I enjoy Gale Force. It's fun. It's simple, stream eBay. Yeah, is eBay a video game? Is that a... Kenichi Sonoda, yes, absolutely, thank you. Okay, let me go ahead and read some more of these super chats. Give me a second here. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? Thoughts on Gale Force franchise from Augsburg Armorer said, yeah, I like Gale Force, but it's kind of weird by, like, modern standards. It's got a lot of light nudity in it for, like, the sake of fan service. If you don't like fan service, I guess you might not like Gale Force. But I enjoyed Gale Force. That's one of those guilty pleasures, I would call that. Kenichi Sonoda, yes, absolutely. He also did, like, a Mahjong Fighter Sushi Pai, I think is another one that he did. He's done a lot of anime. He's pretty underrated. When I think of, like, a 1980s animator, someone asked me earlier, I think of Gale Force and Kenichi Sonoda, absolutely. Dai no Daiboken is a decent fantasy anime. Sushi Pie, I've had so much fun playing those games. Oh, you're talking about the Super Famicom game, yeah. Ken likes nudity, confirmed. I like tasteful nudity. Fan service is fine as long as it's not overt and there's too much of it. Like, if 50% of your anime is fan service, that's too much. I would say, you know, something like maybe Dream Hunter Rem is like a good balance. You don't want it to basically be like a light hentai, you know what I mean? Any Sudoku fans? I have not played any Sudoku since Brain Age on the Nintendo DS. Have you ever seen the BBC Weird Urusei Yatsura dub? Yeah, they only did like 3 or 4 episodes of it, but it's hilarious. Sushi Pie has the best intro song called The World's Birthday. The only anime VHS tape I have are 2 Gundam Wing VHS tapes and a 0081. I've played a fair bit of Sudoku myself. Would you call yourself a Sudoku expert? I don't fancy myself a Sudoku expert. Are you aware of the lost anime Tensho X Toho Project OVA? Oh yeah, the Toho anime. Yeah, it was like shown privately in a couple of places, and it was never released commercially in any way that, like, at least I'm aware of. I don't know why. For some reason, there's some anime, like, they'll make a whole anime, and then they'll barely show it to anybody. They did that a lot in the 1980s, too, so there's a hotline to help you if you think you're committing Sudoku. I really liked that idea. Okay, I'm gonna stop reading chat just for a second so I can focus on the game. Currently have 13 sealed Yu Yu Hakusho VHS tapes. You know what's weird about Yu Yu Hakusho on VHS? You can get all of Yu Yu Hakusho on VHS except for the very, very last part of it. That upset me to no end. It's like you can have almost every episode of Yu Yu Hakusho on VHS, but I think it's like the last like 10 episodes you can't get. So they stopped just short of having the whole show on VHS. That always bothered me to no end. Toho anime was originally muted. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure somewhere around here was where I ended up dying the last time. So I need to focus very hard here. Okay. Okay. It was somewhere around here. I think it was like a block. There was like a block that came down and killed me here or something. Okay. Alright. Okay, it was this thing. For some reason, this stupid thing killed me every time. And I don't... There we go. I got over it. So I guess you have to hit them from the top? Okay, perfect. I don't know why I had trouble with that. Let's see here. Just got Nausicaa set in the mail. Well, alright. The only... Let's see. The only sealed VHS I have is an old N64 promo tape. They also had, like, those Toys R Us preview tapes, too. Thinking about it, I have the entire series. Yeah. Oh, let's see. At Kenny Lardale, you mentioned the Fire Emblem anime, but did you know there's like more than 10 manga that never got officially translated? Yeah, like Fire Emblem has always been very popular in Japan. I mean, you know, you wouldn't have stuff like Thracia, like 377 or wherever the name of that anime is, released on the Super Famicom as like the last Super Famicom game ever if it wasn't popular in Japan. But it's really been getting more popular lately just because they like added... They added, like, what did they do? They added, like, dating mechanics to Fire Emblem. Apparently, that was the key to making Fire Emblem popular. Just fill it with cute anime girls, and all of a sudden, Fire Emblem is the most popular thing in the world. Why do so many people reanimate the Cutie Honey intro? I would say because it's iconic. Cutie Honey is one of the very first magical girl anime, and, you know, how you not like Go Nagai? You know, the absolute madman Go Nagai. Let's see. Make it waifu and it will sell, yes. Do you think there's people who bought, like, the new Fire Emblem that was released on the original Nintendo? Like, the original Fire Emblem game for the Nintendo NES just got an English release. Do you think there's people who bought that thinking that it was going to be full of, like, anime waifu characters and stuff like that? That would be hilarious if that happened. You know, there's got to be one guy that did that. Trailer looks crazy good. Definitely get into it. Fire Emblem Awakening did the trick. Okay, let's see. Definitely. Didn't know the Godzilla guys did it. Absolutely. I wonder if Fire Emblem's popularity released it to the Western audience earlier. Hey, somebody donated to the Patreon. All right, thank you very much, Bug. I will send you a link to the Patreon Discord right after the stream is done. Thank you very much for the support. Appreciate it. Let's see, it had Kaeda, and that was good enough. Gonagai is like the Abram of anime, right behind the Disney. Gonagai is a crazy dude. Alright, come on. Okay, where's Tails? God damn it. Get me up there. Give me that fire shield. Got it. Okay, so now I have the fire shield. Can I get up there or no? Okay, so last time I did this, I ended up getting killed. So, like, how am I supposed to get in there? Okay, good. Thank God. Let's see, what else we got here? Nobody talks about him anymore. Well, Gonagai was, like, really, really popular in a couple of places. I know they're doing, like, a brand new Grendizer, aren't they? Still hate myself for selling my copy of Path of Radiance on eBay and a lot for $50 when I was a dumb teenager. Foresight is a hell of a thing, isn't it? I had so many video games that I sold because I couldn't make ends meet that are probably like in the couple $100 range now. I've got a copy of Pulseman for the Sega Genesis, the Sega Mega Drive, that I got for, I want to say, like $30 like 10 years ago, and now all of a sudden that's like a $500 Japanese import. And I think like the big stream is freezing for me. I think a big problem with it is okay, is the stream okay? I'm gonna pause it for a second. Tell me if the stream is doing okay. Is the stream working? If the stream isn't working, then I gotta probably continue this at another time. Let me know if everything's going okay. Is it fine? Stream is fine for me? Okay. What was I going to say? I would say like the main problem with video game prices went up like crazy. For the reason that like the Chinese bootlegs ended up ruining video game collecting. So like all of a sudden you've got like 100 copies of Pulseman on the Sega Mega Drive on eBay, but they're all like Chinese bootlegs, and you can't tell the difference between like an authentic copy of it and a real one. And it was around that point where I stopped collecting older video games. You know, you just get flash carts at that point. Which is a shame to see that happening, but I think that's a large reason why so many older video games are going up in price. Because, you know, you can't even find a real copy of something. I guarantee you, if GameCube discs were not printed on little tiny DVDs that were hard to bootleg, then, you know, there would be tons and tons of bootleg copies of Fire Emblem for the GameCube. Okay, let me go ahead and see what's going on in the chat here. Rodrigo Santa Cruz with his Warao Salesman avatar says, there are some vintage model kits from Space Family Carl Vincent on eBay for $40. I feel bad, you know, actually, like, going at a model kit. Like, here's the thing. Like, I saw there was a listing for the Pony Metal U-Gaim Garage Kit on eBay, and I didn't buy it specifically because, like, that thing is from, like, the 1980s, and they only made a couple hundred of them, probably. So, like, I feel really bad, like, to like, paint something that was made in the 1980s. It's one thing to like, make a brand new model kit, but I always feel like I'm defacing history when I see somebody, like making like a model kit, you know, like painting a model kit that was made like over 40 years ago, you know? Game prices going up because 30-year-old boomers got disposable income. Well, I'm spending all my disposable income on VHS tapes. Hey, we got another Patreon donation too. Meep Meep donated $1 through Patreon. Thank you very much. I will get you a Discord invite for the Patreon Discord right after the stream is done. Thank you very much. But yeah, I guess maybe, you know, people are getting older, and the older you get, you would think you get more money. Doesn't seem to be working with me. I'm in my 30s and I still have the same amount of money I had 10 years ago. But I guess there's people who got the disposable income to be buying up all the retro anime that exists. Boomer gang, rise up. Fire Emblem 4 is an amazing game, and I've always wondered if it would be a classic if it got an English translation. Do you know about the legendary McDonald's Nintendo DS game? Yeah, there was that one guy who did who did like an hour-long video about that recently, right? Yeah. I saw that video about the lost McDonald's Nintendo DS game. I wouldn't pay $3,000 for a Nintendo DS game, but that guy's got a lot more subscribers to me. Maybe I'll get to a point where I can spend like $1,000 on like the last copy of a VHS tape that comes out one day. That would be crazy. What's the here's a question for you guys. What is the most you would ever spend on one anime just to watch it? Like if there was only one copy of an anime on the entire internet, what's the most you would ever spend for it? Could you do a video about Anarchy Uprising? Were you talking about Max Anarchy, the PS3 video game? Because I tried to stream that one time. Yeah, let's see. Every guy flies to Japan like every month. $350, $150, $100, $1,000, $120. Yeah, I would say like if you're paying more than like $100 or $150 on a VHS tape, that's the max. I would say the most I would ever pay for an anime is probably like $150 bucks. Oh man, I'm so bad at Sonic. Okay, hold on. Alright. Man, I love the music in this level. Let's see. Just wouldn't do it. Luckily, I can stream Legend of the Galactic Heroes. $700? Jesus. It really depends on how much you were interested in it. Well, yeah, if it was like Saki-san Obashi and it existed, which it doesn't, it would be like $3,000. Like, I can understand that. But I feel like there's very few anime that fall into that category. Like, if there were like a VHS tape for like the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime movie, that's the only example I can think of where people would probably pay like a ridiculous amount of money for it. But you know, like if it's not on that level, you're probably not going to be seeing people doing things. Kenny is technically a millennial. Yes, I am, but I am on the borderline of millennial. Or maybe Go Nagai should be considered the Moses of manga and anime. I love Go Nagai for doing crazy, weird stuff. You know, he has a lot of fart jokes in his anime, but it's pretty funny. Saki-san Obashi is a fake hoax anime that was created on 4chan as a joke, and then all of a sudden people on the internet all of a sudden were like, oh hey, well maybe if it's real, and it kind of spiraled out of control. It's an urban legend at this point, I would say. Long stream today. Well, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog is a good game to stream. I'm gonna see if I can beat it. And you know, god damn it, I died in the exact same place twice in a row. Alright, not that I blame him. Then again, maybe Akira Toriyama is the something or other. It's basically like paying $200 for a bunch of OVA tapes back in the day. Yeah, people told me about that. Like when I did the video on Dragon's Heaven, they're like, hey, I want a DVD for Dragon's Heaven. Like after I did that video, the DVD for Dragon's Heaven is no joke, like over $200, brand new. Like they released it as $200. It's not like it like got more expensive later on. For some reason, some OVAs have just always been super expensive since release. I mean, like, you even look back in the day, like, California Crisis was like $100 back in the day. But that was mostly because, you know, those were made for rental stores, right? They weren't designed for people to, like, buy them to own them. Do you think the growing interest in lost media hurts collectors like yourself? In a way, but it's a blessing and a curse. Because I know of some anime, I'm not going to give you examples, but I know of some anime where if I were to do a video saying, oh hey, listen, this anime is lost, nobody has it, it was released in very small numbers, go ahead and go and look for a copy of that. If I were to do a video saying something like that along those lines, there are people that will try to preemptively buy up a VHS tape speculatively, just so that they can like resell it later on. And that's the thing about YouTube. You can't be like, oh, hey, there's an anime, you know, I'm looking forward. Boy, I really wish somebody would find this anime. And then, like, somebody buys every single copy of it on the internet, and it never gets, you know, put on the internet. That's a problem with lost media. It's a very tricky business. You know, because sometimes, like, raising awareness that something is lost media ends up doing more harm than good. So it's a balancing act, I would say. Oh boy. That's why Pokemon cards are in vogue now. Yeah, I saw Pokemon cards once, like, really high up in value. That's another thing that I wish I didn't sell, like, decades ago. I didn't think Pokemon cards would go into, like, the triple digits. None of us thought, like, pieces of cardboard would ever, like, be that much. Is this on Twitch, too? No, I don't stream on Twitch. It's not bad as buying Supreme. Yeah, well, then you're just buying something for the name brand at that point, right? Holy crap, that was like the first time in almost 20 years that I've seen the anime web Turnpike Girl. Well, you know, back in the day, like, that was how you found your anime. You would go on the anime web Turnpike, which was like, because, like, back in the day, do you guys remember this? You used to call the internet the information superhighway. So it was like a joke. You know, highways have turnpikes. So, like, a turnpike is like a way to get off of a highway. So, you know, people are like, you know, information superhighway, anime web turnpike. It makes sense to me, but like with that perspective, I guess that might not make sense to a lot of modern anime fans. But I always like the anime web turnpike girl. Okay, Boomer. All right. I probably still have like a bunch of AOL.com discs somewhere sitting in a storage locker. I found some lost episodes of Pooh's Corner and Dumbo's Circus. The internet is a series of tubes. Yes, absolutely it is. There was an older name for it. Hold on a second, guys. Stay hydrated. When is the next Delinquent Schoolgirl review? It's either going to be the next video or the video after that. I have the series, I'm watching through it. The problem is it's a completely unsubtitled series, and it's like very plot heavy, so I'm just trying not to screw it up. There's research that I need to do in it. It's probably going to be the next video or the one after that. Let's see, the World Wide Web, yes. I still say the World Wide Web a lot. Trixie Turnpike, yeah, she actually has a name. I think it's sad that the US market has never embraced the delinquent schoolgirl genre. Well, the delinquent schoolgirl genre was very idol-based, and like America didn't really have like Japanese singer idols the way that Japan did. So like the way that it worked, at least in the 1980s, is they would have some Japanese idol, some girl that had some sort of singing career, and they would like push her as the main character of a series, and that just doesn't really translate over into the American side of things, because we just generally did not have idols. Lol, Netscape Navigator. What's your process for researching unsubtitled series? Well, finding like somebody who knows enough Japanese to be able to understand Japanese delinquents is a surprisingly difficult thing. So, like behind the scenes, I've got a couple of people that are helping me out on a couple of stuff. Because, like, here's the thing, you can know Japanese, but on top of knowing Japanese, like, even, like, Japanese people have problems with delinquent shows sometimes. Because, like, you have a lot of characters that slur their speech and have a lot of specific colloquialisms that really only exist in like these delinquent subgenres. So it's not easy. Let's see, no idols? What are you talking about? Yeah, but that was like Britney Spears did not exist in the 1980s, you know? Let's see, it's just to me, or does Kenny Lauderdale sound like Ross from Freeman's Mind? People have told me that a lot. We're not the same guy. You cannot prove that that's me. Let's see, do you have trouble with the dialect? A lot of the time, yeah. Like, the characters will slur their speech, and the dialect, you got all sorts of different, like, different ways of speaking. Has Ross been absorbed by the mold yet? Whoa. Even some Irish people can't understand Irish. Do you speak Japanese, Kenny? No, I do not, but I have very basic level Japanese skills. Like, if you wonder why it takes so long for me to do these videos about anime with no subtitles, it's because it's not easy. It's not easy to do. I found a bootleg VHS of the Fatal Fury movie that had piss yellow subs. Do you guys prefer yellow subtitles, or do you guys prefer white subtitles? What's your opinion on Yu Yu Hakusho? Fantastic anime. You know, everything that's been said about Yu Yu Hakusho has been said. I love me some Yu Yu Hakusho, some spirit gun action. Okay. Got him. Yellow subtitles? You like yellow ones? Black subtitles? Absolute madman over here watching black subtitles. What's my opinions on Ideon? Ideon is good. I mean, you know, End of Evangelion kind of rips off, you know, Ideon be invoked a little bit. Nothing wrong with Ideon. It's got a good Blu-ray at least. You can watch it. It's subtitled. Oh, come on. Got it. All right. What's anime's opinion on you? I don't know. Has anime become self-aware? Can it start, like, reviewing anime YouTubers? Can you recommend some horror anime? Not really. I had one that I wanted to recommend, but I can't find the VHS tape for it. There just aren't that many horror anime out there. I guess technically. Look into Ayakashi. Ayakashi. If you guys haven't seen Ayakashi, I guess, like, technically that's a horror anime. But, you know, that's more like episodic horror, so I don't know. How do you feel about the Jabonguru? I love Zabongle. Love that anime. Talking about the delinquent schoolgirl reviews, it ain't worth much, but it's honest work. It's not easy. Like, you gotta track them down. There was this one show that I was trying to track down that doesn't even have, like, a home release, so... Disturbingly dark? Yeah, tons of people die in Ideon. There is Shonen Bakusozuku Volume 4 Blu-ray for $62. There's people now all of a sudden subtitling Shonen Bakusozuku, so yes. That is gonna be a series eventually. I'll finally be able to watch that in English. Okay. Could you say that a lot of anime had horror as an element, but not as a genre itself? I mean, you know, there's like Hellgirl. You know, there's Pet Shop of Horrors. Those are horror anime, but like, for some reason, I've got a feeling there's a lot more horror anime out there. It's just like it's either not translated or people just don't talk about it. Ayakashi, classic Japanese horror, yes. But that's one of those shows that's like almost so Japanese that you might not like it. Mushishi has horror aspects to it. I wouldn't call that a horror anime. It's, if anything, it's more like like an Iyashikei anime. Do I have animation cells? No, those are getting incredibly expensive these days, so I don't have them. Come on, yeah. All right. Let's see, do you own any English? Hold on a second. Oh, so close. 2006 Higurashi anime sucks, though. Come on. Oh, I'm trying to land this jump, and my timing is all screwed up. There we go. Got it. Let's see here. Do you watch the 4Kids dub? I mean, there are a couple of decent 4Kids dub. I mean, there's Kinnikuman, I guess Kinnikuman Nisei, which was Ultimate Muscle. I have a shiny Moltres, gotta check the price on that. Midori Anime Review 1. I don't know. Game over. Let's see. Where will you ever give the other magical girl shows you mentioned? Let's see, more exposure. I was thinking about doing a video on Persia or Pelsia, as they say it in some of the shows, at some points. But like Pastel Yumi and Persia and stuff, it's like I kind of feel like I want to cover more of the other magical girl stuff from the 70s, because nobody really covers 70s magical girl anime at all. Like, honestly, can you guys name even one magical girl anime from the 70s? Most people probably can't. So if I'm gonna do more magical girl stuff, it's either gonna be something from the 60s or something from the 70s. Will we get a stream of the Nora series? Look, even though people don't care about Twinkle Nora Rock Me, and I probably could, YouTube does not like you streaming anime on online, so I couldn't do it. Cutie Honey's from the 70s, if that counts. Yeah, I guess technically. Majoko Tickle. Yeah, so you get two. Well, actually, there's an 80s Sally the Witch series, so I guess technically Sally the Witch is also an 80s anime, if you want to look at it that way. Favorite anime, Kenny? I don't know. Kino's Journey, maybe. I think Gigantor is one of the oldest anime that I know of. We need to do a tweening project for Twinkle Nora Rock Me. Yeah, you would need to do that, because you couldn't do a reanimated project on that anime, because there isn't enough animation like for it to be reanimated. You kind of have to redo the show from the ground up, you know? More like just animated. Yeah, exactly. You could totally animate Twinkle Nora Rock Me. See, is Twinkle Nora Rock Me an anime or a PowerPoint presentation? It's an anime because it's animated most of the time. I said that in the earlier video. You know, people like to make fun of it, but most of the time it is animated, so it's an anime. Is Powerpuff Girls Z an anime? Absolutely. Alright, hold on. Let's see, Cyber 6 review 1, Kenny. When somebody finds the live-action version of Cyber 6, I'll do a video on it. Let's see, classic Powerpuff Girls credits theme is so iconic. Come on. Come on. Goddamn, I'm so bad at Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's see, Tiny Toons, Animaniacs, or Freakazoid? Freakazoid, absolutely. Tiny Toon Adventures relies a lot on pop culture references, so it's not as good. And the other one you said that I wasn't really too much of a fan of. Do you have a big VHS collection? Yes, I do. Kenny was created in anime by the Japanese Ministry of Propaganda to infiltrate the English-speaking world. Interesting take, but okay. Just want to say your latest video made me want to watch Thunderbolt Fantasy purely because of how puppetry... yeah, puppetry is like a legitimate, you know, art form. It's beautiful. Got it. Freakazoid was like 80%. Okay, fine, the writing was better on Freakazoid. Can I say that? Like, I understand Freakazoid has a lot of pop culture references in it, but at the same time, I don't know, I feel like it stands up better than Animaniacs and even like Pinky and the Brain to an extent. Huh? Is Thunderbolt Fantasy worth a watch? The problem with Thunderbolt Fantasy, it's very good, but... a lot of the English release, the subtitles are really messed up. because like since it's a Chinese production, right? The subtitles for the names of the characters do not match what's being said on screen. So like they use like the Japanese names of the characters, even though the actual things that are being said in the show are really how do I put this? If you watch Thunderbolt Fantasy, just realize that the subtitles kind of aren't going to make sense. Let's see. Bantam Jack donated $5 via Patreon. Thank you very much, Bantam Jack. I will send you a link to the Patreon Discord right after the stream is done. Freakazoid and Batman, the animated series, were my favorite shows as kids. Oh, hold on. Oh, you kidding me? Whoa. Am I going the right direction? Holy crap. Let's see, Woolen Warriors was best puppet show. You know that's all on YouTube. You're talking about, okay, so like technically, I guess Thunderbolt Fantasy is part of a genre called wuxia, right? And they have wuxia puppet shows in Japan as like a gigantic genre. And they tried to bring it to America as a show called Woolen Warriors in America in the 90s. And it did so poorly in America that they only ended up showing 2 episodes on TV. However, they produced like 13 episodes of it. So someone like later on after the fact ended up putting all of the remaining episodes on YouTube. So now it's like all on YouTube for free. Thoughts on that Now and Then, Here and There? Have not seen it in a long time. Let's see. The Yankee Workshop guy from PBS. Blah, 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 blah. Woolen Warriors was highly Americanized. Yeah, and it was very censored. They tried to make it into like Ninja Turtles. It was very weird. If I became rich enough, let's see, obscure anime on DVD and Blu-ray. Okay, chat is moving way too fast now. Yeah, that's a pretty big fancy comic genre from China. Yeah, well, they tried to bring wuxia to America and just like it never stuck for some reason. Favorite mecha design? I don't know. I kind of like Jabungaru because here's the thing: how many robots or mecha rather can you think of that are controlled with like a steering wheel? I can think of the main robot from Jabungal. I can think of Megas XLR controls with a steering wheel. But there just aren't that many controlled with like a car, you know what I mean? And I always thought that was a really neat design, and it's not really used all that much for some reason. So what I'm saying is we need more mecha controlled with steering wheels. Hold on a second, there was a super chat, let me go ahead and see what it was. Rodrigo Santa Cruz donated $10, says, is Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go tokusatsu? No, that's a American cartoon. There is a Shonen Bakuzoku Volume 4 Blu-ray for $62 on eBay. I am very well aware of that. Thank you very much for the donation. Like I said, that's getting fan subtitled now, so you can probably watch it in English pretty soon. I would love an official English release of that, but for some reason, like delinquent anime are not like a thing that they release in America. I don't know why. It's not a popular genre, I guess. Cartoon Network did Megas XLR dirty. Yeah, Cartoon Network basically, like, if it had robots in it, they did not want it to do well. I don't know why. They also did this one show by the guy who did Super Jail called Robotomy, and that show also got canceled. And let's not forget what was the name of the show? Symbiotic Titan. That also got canceled. So, you know, anything having to do with robots on Cartoon Network just is seemingly doomed to failure. And also, like, whatever happened to Robot Jones, right? That's another one thing. Nothing ever happened to Kennedy's. Cartoon Network, let's see. MTV did that creator dirty before Megas XLR, yeah. They also canceled Top Quality Producing Blasphemy. Ugh. Symbiotic Titan was fantastic. I loved that. I loved every episode of that show. All right, Titanic Monarch Act 2. Yeah, Time Squad was fun. That was a good way to learn about people through history. Cartoon Network is weird today. Well, the problem is like nobody watches TV anymore, so they're trying to transfer all their stuff over to streaming now, right? Well, there we go. Rebecca Sugar rips off anime too much. I don't think it's a ripoff. I think they're more like homages or homages, however you want to say that. I got a feeling that since like Steven Universe was like was animated in South Korea, that maybe somebody working on that show like grew up with Golden Bat, and that's why one of the characters looks like they're from Golden Bat. But it's coincidental. You would probably have to ask the creators of that show on Twitter, what they meant by that. All the good Cartoon Network stuff in the next 3 years will probably be delayed or delegated. Whoa. Okay, I think there was another message. Give me a second here. Let's see. Cyclops Production donated €5. Cyclops Production says, would you ever be interested in a retrospective on Saban cuts? I have a lot of fondness for Techno Man, no matter how much it cut from Techman Blade. As far as Saban stuff goes, I was thinking about maybe Masked Rider at some point. Cyclops Productions, are you aware of Masked Rider, or is that something only I know about? Let's see. Dinosaur Satan donated $5 Canadian, says counterpoint. Rebecca Sugar does not rip off anime enough. Well, here's the thing. Like, if people are gonna get into like Utena and Golden Bat through Steven Universe, then I consider that like a win-win. But yeah, I guess I could see how some people might be saying that that's like a ripoff. Here's the thing. I've never seen Steven Universe, and I have no intention of watching it. But if all of a sudden people are like, oh, hey, maybe I should look into Golden Bat because one of the characters from this cartoon looks like a character from this 1960s anime, then I'm all for that. Was Masked Rider the time they tried to bring over Kamen Rider? Yes, it is, and many large swaths of it are large media because it never got released in English. Or sorry, it never got released on home video. There were a couple of VHS tapes, but that was basically it. Is this the Anime Boomer stream? Yes, it is. You are in the right place. Ah, gotta get those onion rings. Recorded almost every episode of the Max off TV and MTV back in the day. VHS tape still works. Well, you're probably going to want to back those up at some point, because while they'll still work, VHS tapes will degrade about like 1% every year. So your tapes are just going to start getting darker and darker, and then the audio isn't going to sound as good. So I would say still watch them. There's nothing wrong with watching the VHS tapes, but back them up first just in case something happens to them, If you're over 30 and you complain about anime, you're absolutely a boomer. Well, here's the thing. I only complain about anime from the 80s, so I'm within the clear. Whew. Okay. How in the... There we go. Do you know of the curse of Kazue Oimezo? Yes, I'm very aware of that, and also Midori. People keep telling me to do a video about that. I might at the future. I've got other things on my plate right now, but thank you for the suggestion. I'm well aware of that. Let's see here. Any anime you think Discotech need to release/re-release? Basically anything that I've talked about on my channel. Those guys are doing absolutely amazing things. They're saving so many English dubs. They're completely like saving entire anime from being lost media. Absolute legends over there at Discotech. Kenny, you may not physically be a boomer, but he is a boomer in spirit. Yeah, I think the only... Hold on a second here. All right. You ever heard of Future Police Orishaman? Yes. Yes, I have. See, a lot of the stuff that like Discotech puts out on DVD and Blu-ray is just, it's not lost media, but it's so hard to normally get that it, like, you would never be able to actually watch it if it wasn't for them. They should honestly contact Saban or whoever owns the Saban stuff and get Masked Rider out there on DVD. I don't care if it is bad. You know, that needs to be seen. People need to learn from history's mistakes. Let's see. Hold on a second. There was another message. Let me go ahead and go back and read it. Cyclops Reduction says, I remember Masked Rider on UK Fox Kids channel. Never really got into it, although I did watch a lot of Big Bad Beetleborgs back then. I had a lot of the toys for Big Bad Beetleborgs. That was a really, really good toy line. So yes, I definitely was into that. I didn't watch Masked Rider as it aired, but like, you know, you can find random episodes of it probably on YouTube. I very highly doubt anybody cares about Saban's like butchered version of Kamen Rider. Okay. Alright. Hold on. Hold on. If I get hit one time here, I'm gonna die, so I need to be very careful here. Whoa. Ah, darn. VR Troopers, we need a new Berserk with a different studio. Yes, we do. I feel like Berserk is just always going to be badly done. For some, I guess it's just too much work to translate the 2D drawings into an anime or something, or it's too expensive. But for some reason, Berserk has been done dirty many, many times. I like the 1990s anime for Berserk. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like an incomplete release, and the animation is kind of iffy because it was done by the Record of Lotus War guys, so it does look kind of slideshowy at points. But yeah, are there any Garzy's Wings reviews yet? I would be very surprised if nobody has talked about Garzy's Wing on YouTube yet. 2010's OVAs for Berserk were pretty good. Well, you're talking about the movies, right? Those weren't OVAs. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Keep getting killed by things crushing me. The fact that you're reading chat while playing Sonic deserves a round of applause. Sonic the Hedgehog is not that hard. Either that or, like, from muscle memory, I'm that good. Yeah, movies. Yeah, see, there were movies. You know, I've been wrong before, but I was pretty sure that those were films. Okay, let's see. Berserk is being done. Mega Man harder impresses me. Why? Why do I keep holding left when I'm going up that platform? Why don't I learn from my mistakes? You know, my actions have consequences. Why do I keep screwing up? Okay, hold on. Are there any ancient anime like Girls Last Tour? There's a bunch of them. I mean, there's Yokohama Kaidashi Kiko, there's Kino's Journey, there's Galaxy Express 39. You know, you're talking about like episodic light philosophy anime. You know, there's also Mushishi. You know, there's a lot of anime that are like that. Okay. Got to not die here. Okay. Good. God damn. Thoughts on Space Dandy? I loved Space Dandy. Fantastic anime. I would recommend Space Dandy. Okay. Ah, I keep going in a loop. Alright. Stay in one spot. Ah, that spring. That goddamn spring. Holy crap. Okay. Don't go into the spring. How's this gonna work? Hold on. Oh, there's two of them, you son of a... Why would they put 2 springs there? God damn. Okay, maybe there's a way to get over them with tails or something? Ah, man. Okay, just jump over it. Okay, good. Finally. God damn, that was embarrassing. Please like this video and subscribe to his channel. No, I try not to do that. But here's the thing, like, you know, the videos legitimately will not get pushed out to people if people don't like them. So I view it kind of like as like a reminder, you know? But man, yeah, I don't know. I try not to do that. In the newest video, I didn't say anything about liking and subscribing, so, you know, hopefully I'm getting better at that. It's kind of cringy, you know what I mean? Let's see, I'm looking into it. Kino's Journey was a wild ride, the original anyway. Yeah, I don't really care for what I've seen of the remake, but, I don't know, for all I know, it's a decent anime. Okay. There we go. Alright, getting closer. God damn, this is a long level. But first, a word from our sponsor. You know, I've actually gotten, like, emails from Raid Shadow Legends and stuff like that. I just ignore it. Because not only, like, do they seem fake, it's like, you know, Raid Shadow Legends has nothing to do with anime on VHS. Like, if you're gonna do, like, a sponsored video or something, at least have it have to do something with anime. You know what I mean? So, until somebody, like, starts making brand new VHS tapes or something, I'm not gonna have any commercials in my videos, thank you. For the B-shift workers, hey, I'm trying, as long as I'm keeping you guys entertained. Okay. Go. Let's see, can I go right here? Holy crap. Okay, okay, there's a spring there. Got it. Yeah, Animation Runner Kuromi was pretty good. It's got the voice actor of Haruko from Fooly Cooly in it, so, you know, that's something. Do you ever think there will be a review of the 1997 Speed Racer Mach Go Go Go? I would never do a review just on that series, but like maybe like a Mach Go 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 retrospective would be nice. Do you have let's see, you have ethics, other YouTubers only want revenue? Well, you know, like, you know, I'm not gonna say no to money, but I will say no to things that make the videos worse. Like, I'm not gonna put a commercial for like some insurance company into my video about like Miracle Girl Limit Chan. It has absolutely nothing to do with the video, you know what I mean? I hate that the Angry Video Game Nerd ended up doing stuff like that. Like, all of his videos now start with like some 1 or 2 minute commercial for something that has absolutely nothing to do with old video games. And it's just like, you're making the videos worse at that point. I'd like to thank Dollar Shave Club for my smooth waifu. Okay, how's this work? Okay, which way am I supposed to be going here? Okay, there we go. Ah, so now I'm going in circles. That's not what I want to be doing. Let's be real, most people skip sponsorships. Yeah, like that too, you know? Like, how many people are gonna be buying Dollar Shave Club just because somebody said it on some YouTube stream about some anime? Okay, so I guess I have to make my way to the left here? Okay, hold on. I see that there's a thing on the left. How do I get there, though? Holy crap. Okay, I think this is it. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. Let's see. How does your boomer brain remember so many Japanese names? It's not easy. You know, like, you remember that one episode of SpongeBob where he threw away everything in his brain except for how to serve tables and breathing? That's how I am with anime. All I know is anime. Everything is anime. All I see and breathe is anime. You're gonna time out hard, Kenny? I know. I'm trying, man. This is a weird level. Okay, come on. Holy crap. Okay. Whew. God damn, this level. All right, come on. Oh, you kidding me? Why are these stupid balls so hard to get past? 10 seconds. Come on. Damn. And now I made it to the boss with like 10 seconds left. Great. Fantastic. Awesome. Great. Hopefully that's a checkpoint. But then again, I got a game over on that. All right, I'm getting too hard. I'm getting too tired to do a level like this. I'm gonna call this a night. I think it's, what is it, like 1 a.m. in the morning or something like that? Yeah, it's 1:30 in the morning. What am I doing playing the Sonic the Hedgehog at like 1 or 2 in the morning? If you guys have anything you want to say to me, I will talk to you guys some other time. Give me a second. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. Any comic book recommendations? Indie comics? Nah, not really. I really just don't read comics all that much, so you know that's like a blank area in my nerd credibility, I guess. Let's see here. Really liked the contrast. What else we got here? Good night. Your brain wouldn't say that, Kenny. Right, Kenny? Huh? It's 2:30. Let's say I don't even know what time it is anymore. Good night, sleep well, Ken. The balls are inert. Good night, Kenny. Do I follow Steve M? I don't follow any other YouTubers. Tokusatsu rocks. Gotta sleep tonight. Good night, everyone. Let's see. All right. I'll see if I can do a stream sometime next Friday too. Hopefully I'll have a new video out by that point. All right. Take care. I am ending the stream in 3.